Good morning, Rap Freaks. Lexiot's here Tuesday morning, and the Raptors inexplicably won a game last night against the Wizards. And sometimes that's like a good morning. That's sometimes a little weird that they won a game like they did last night. Seriously, it's a very strange game. Very, very strange game last night. I often talk about on this channel how each game is like its own individual kind of thing. And well, we saw another very weird one portrayed to us. Literally in the first half, the team couldn't do anything right. There was so much ugly basketball, so many stupid turnovers, so much just really looking like, oh my God. Like if we were looking at Cali's stress meter in the first half, it's really bad. It's off the charts. Everybody's a little bit kind of stressed out and freaking out about the whole entire season because we're playing the Wizards and they are bad. They're very, very bad. And the way the first half went, we were all kind of like, holy crap, this is going to be a long ass season. But man, the second half was interesting. It was weird. We finally got to see Siakam kind of carry. He carried us. He did what I've been asking him to do in the last couple of weeks. Siakam, just step up and be that guy. Take over. Be the best player on the court. Do what you do because you can do it. And yeah, he did it. He did it. He carried us. 18 points in the third quarter last night. Nobody could stop him. And it was just smart. Go straight to him and go inside. It's amazing the three-point shooting for us last night. We only hit 4 threes. 4 threes, and none of the starters hit any of them. None of the starters hit a single three-pointer last night. And we won. I cannot believe this by the very skin of our teeth. In fact, we had to have something go so crazy good. In fact, we should not have never won this game. I'm going to say this right now. There was a 16-point lead for the Wizards with like 6 minutes to go, and they couldn't score anymore. They did not score. It's so weird. They didn't score. They scored 1 point in the last 7 minutes of the game. And this is the thing. We were lucky because a lot of them not scoring was them missing layups, them missing all their shots themselves. And you know what? Any one of those shots that they threw up in the last 7 minutes of the game could have gone in. There's like a Jordan Poole floater. There's a right near the basket. Like there's all kinds of crazy ass shots that they just barely missed. And if any one of those shots had gone in, it may have mean we would have lost. It's insane. It is absolutely insane. I don't know if it's like, because it's not totally our defense that did that at the end. Sure, it was a part of it. Our defense was a part of why they didn't score but 1 point in the last 7 minutes. But a lot of it was also lucky because they missed a lot of shots also. I don't care whichever way, just win, baby. It's about this. It's about this. And that's all that matters. We're at 500 right now. Oh my gosh. All right, let me get right into the comments and let's enjoy this reaction stream to a very bizarre game. The fourth biggest comeback in Raptors franchise history in a game last night. Down 23, and we came back. We were down by 19 at halftime. We were down by double digits at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Yeah, that's amazing. Honestly, I can't get to like toot our horns or proud of this game at all. Honestly, this game, it really is a tale of two halves. And the first half was so bad that I'm just like, but the second half, very interesting. Very interesting. We'll do the 5 stars. There's a G League game today. We'll take care of our normal business on the Raptorsfreak reaction stream to the game last night. All right, let's see what y'all are saying first. Trevor J's in first. We got Trevor J, and here's the Trevor J Cup. More in-season tournament games tonight, except there's none in our Group C of the East. None of our teams are playing. No Bulls, no Celtics, no Nets, no Magic. Magic still don't get their first in-season tournament game, just like us. So, yeah, we got the Trevor J Cup. is going to go to whoever wins the in-season tournament. We got assigned teams. All right, let's see what he's saying. Good morning, Raptors family. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to you, Trevor J. It is a happy Tuesday because the Raptors won a game they shouldn't have won. It's kind of evening out. Portland and Chicago got evened out for San Antonio and Washington now, although Washington should have been a W either way. Yeah, and Tom Duke is getting on a plane and flying to Toronto today. He will be here in Toronto as of this evening. Yeah, so Raptor freaks, get ready for hanging out this week with Mr. Tom Duke coming in. All right, let's see what Trevor's saying. For all the people who thought Pascal is not a closer, boy, oh boy, did he show them not only how to steal it, but single-handedly win it. Now, I want to clarify something here, Trevor, because there's differences in what Pascal did last night and being a closer. Because in some ways, sure, he did close the game. He did hit that big shot in the lane where he could do whatever he wanted against Jordan Poole. And he said it after the game. It's like, that was there all night for me. I could just go in the middle lane, and I practiced that shot so much, it's going to drop. It's smart. Like before in the past, this is how I know he's matured. He would try and do like a spin away, fade away, or he'd try and do a harder shot. He went and took the bread and butter, the higher percentage shot, and made sure that it went in, and the place went wild. I'm glad people stayed for the whole game. I wouldn't be surprised if some people left after that first half, but the people that stayed, you guys were awesome. And the way y'all got loud near the end of the game really did help them come back and complete the comeback victory last night. I commend the fans that were at Scotiabank Arena last night on a Monday night and saw a really garbage first half and stuck around and got to see a treat by the end of it. I commend all of y'all for being like that. Now, there's a difference. Siakam was carrying as usual during the game, which means he's scoring, keeping the scoring up for us and amassing a lot of points. But at the end of the game, it's not always him that hits the dagger, or it's him that like kind of gets the big shots right at the end. And in some ways, it was Chris last night. Chris getting those transition dunks and finishing. It's really weird how Chris's really good talents really fit what we needed for the end of the game last night. As far as him finishing in traffic is one of his best traits. And that was absolutely awesome. The way that Siakam kind of side glanced him on that one play and knew he was coming, and he just came in and threw it in. That is badass. Like those two baskets were huge. The Chris Boucher transition baskets. And then on the other end, Chris had blocks. He had a couple of really huge blocks. The one against Avija was absolutely huge. And that's the pretty cool thing about that. So I don't know. In some ways, you're right, Trevor. He carried us. He definitely carried us offensively. But in some ways, and even though he hit that one shot in the lane, I won't say totally that he was the closer. I don't know. I mean, he was involved. It was a group effort. To me, the closer is going to be like Kobe Bryant scores the last 4 baskets or something, or last 3 baskets to absolutely kill the game and win for his team. And, he's not totally doing that, but I'm not criticizing him. I'm glad what he did. And in fact, what Siakam did last night kind of showed another level up of maturity in like possibly being the man and being like, you know what? I noticed that, the thing that I love about it is this. After the game, he said this. He said, I noticed that this team's energy wasn't right. I noticed that we weren't kind of clicking and we weren't playing right. And I wanted to do something about it. Well, I like that. That's what a number one will start thinking. That's what a guy who can be a franchise player is supposed to do. It's like if the team's flat, you're the one who's supposed to get them going. And in a lot of ways, Siakam was that guy. He got us out of the mud and got us going in the right direction. And the other guys jumped in after that. It wasn't just Siakam. Siakam may have been the spark, but then the energy of our guys really carried after that. Guys like Scotty, Precious, Chris, Malachi, they all had extremely good energy to help with defensive intensity to close the game out. There's huge defensive plays by Scotty at the end of the game also. In some ways, Scotty did closing kind of stuff in this game, if not for scoring. Very impressive steals, very impressive, like getting the rebounds, like swooping in and grabbing that rebound to make sure that we got the ball in the possession. Scotty, his energy at the end was interesting because it wasn't closing energy on the offensive end. It was closing energy on the defensive end. So, yeah, it was interesting. I don't see, in some ways, I still want to see, Trevor, Pascal Be the guy who makes like 3 baskets in the row at the end of the game and absolutely kills it and wins the game for us. And that's kind of there. It's closer. It's closer. Let's just say that. Trevor's saying you are strong when you know your weaknesses. You are beautiful when you appreciate your flaws, and you are wise when you learn from your mistakes. Let's hope that they're doing a little bit of that off your words of wisdom today. That the mistakes of the first half are very good for learning from. And like all the guys said after the game, we can't do this. We can't do this to ourselves. This is not smart. If there was any other team yesterday, a rout, drubbing, beat down, just like on Saturday, because it was Wizards. Okay, there's some manageableness to this, even though y'all are playing absolute ass. The wrong end of the dog is the way y'all were playing the first half last night. Yeah. I love that saying, though. You are strong when you know your weaknesses. You are beautiful when you appreciate your flaws. That's awesome, Trevor J. Thanks for the words of wisdom. Dana's here. Good to see Canadian Dana. Good morning, everybody. What a win. Yeah, put it in the history books. It's a memorable one. The Wizards debacle on a Monday night. Yeah, it's going to be one that I'm going to remember just because of the deficit, just because of how Siakam carried. Just because, in some ways, this was a really weird win. This is a great win in some ways, but it really isn't in some ways. Like a lot of Raptors fans are saying, I'm not proud of this, and I don't feel good about this game. And I'm with you guys. There's a lot about this game that was ugly, and we shouldn't be proud of. But we did get a W. And in the whole scheme of things, the 82-game season, we're 500. We've got 5 wins, and that's good too, even if it was ugly and we didn't deserve it. Nako's here. Good to see Nako the Nacho. Tale of 2 halves. That was Pascal still the best scoring talent we've got. This might have been my favorite Grady game this season. Scotty's still stuffing the stat sheet. All right, on that note, Gerald's giving allusions to stars of the game. Let me do my stars of the game. Siakam is the star of the game for me. Absolutely electric. When he outscores his minutes total, he's cooking. 38 minutes, 39 points, 15 to 23. That's badass shooting. 15 to 23. He was cooking. He's still not hitting from 3, though, so we're a little worried about that. His 3-point shooting is still stone cold. 9 for 14 at the free throw line. This is something that was key to us getting back in this game and winning, was the referees respecting our superstars. We got calls for Siakam and Barnes in this game, which was awesome. In some ways, there were calls last night that respected Siakam's body of work and his time in the NBA, and that was good. Finally, Siakam getting some respect from the whistle and getting to the line, and it was good because some of that stuff, a year ago or even, just not too long ago, some of those calls would just go quiet, and you wouldn't hear the whistle on some of those plays where he's trying to score. They bailed him out a couple times and put him on the line when he didn't make his shot. So in some ways, thank you, Brian Forte, CJ Washington, and Matt Myers, for respecting the superstar and all-star and all-NBA player that Siakam is. There's a lot of ref crews that don't do that. And I appreciate y'all giving him the shots that you would give somebody like Giannis, Joel Embiid, or Jason Tatum, because you gave him the free throws last night. And I appreciate that. That's respect. So Siakam had a double-double, 39 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals. He did have 6 turnovers, which he did note after the game. He said, 6 turnovers, that's too many. And that really was the ugliness of the first half. There's just a lot of knuckleheaded turnovers by Siakam. Lazy-ass passes where you just don't throw it up with a lot of inertia or momentum. Then boom, one of the Wizards swoops in and just takes a pass between you and Dennis Schroeder. Yeah, Siakam was not, in some ways, he needed a kick in the butt himself because he was kind of playing low energy. They all were. Like to me, I was really worried because, all right, I was starting to think that we lost so badly against Boston on Saturday night that maybe some people said some things and there was problems. And then we see Masai and Darko looking so shitty and upset at the G League game on Sunday. And then the players come out all flat. And I started in the first half. Now, tell me the truth, y'all. Were you thinking in the first half, this feels like last year? Like this feels like they're not connected. They're not happy. Their energy is down. Everybody seems like they're kind of in a weird muddle. Some reasons I felt like they were in a weird place like last year for a second. where selfishness or whatever bullshit was happening last year where they weren't connected and the energy was wrong. Well, whatever happened at halftime, and I believe I know what happened, helped this a lot. I really did feel like they were in a weird place. There was a lot of head holding, a lot of frowns, a lot of weird low energy, and it was just strange. But this is what Darko said. He said at halftime, he said, "Look, I don't care if you. I don't know if y'all are gonna win. I don't think y'all are gonna win. But at least go out there and have fun and just be positive on the court and just make something out of it at the end." That's what he said at halftime. He didn't yell at them. He didn't say, like this is what you're doing wrong. This is what you're doing wrong. No, he said this. He said, "I don't think y'all are gonna win." I don't think y'all are going to win. And that makes sense. They're down by 19. But I really feel like that was a really smart way to motivate them. He said, "I don't think y'all are going to win." Siakam maybe you're like, okay. And then all I can ask of you guys is to be more positive and have more fun out there in the second half. That's an interesting way to motivate them to kind of turn around. Because instead of dogging them out and scaring them or intimidating them or kind of demeaning them and putting them down, he's kind of like, challenging them. He's like, "I don't think y'all are going to win. I don't think y'all are going to win. Probably not going to win. But I at least want y'all to go out there and have fun and play in a positive way and build and, do it right. Play better." "Okay, coach, you don't think we're going to win? Well, we'll show you." Hilarious. I really do think he took that challenge from Coach Darko. Siakam, plus 18. The best plus minus on the Raptors team. Totally carried us. The second star is Scotty Wayne Barnes. And it was really energy. It was really other stuff other than scoring. It was really all-around stat stuffing by Scotty. And I love it. 19 points, 8 of 17 shooting. I'm okay with the shooting being a little off because this is the thing he did. He adjusted from the Boston game. He stopped staying outside. I don't know if that's what they keyed on and told him after the game on Saturday because he was so much just hanging out outside, taking threes and being lazy. He went inside and he was making room for himself. And he wasn't successful every single time, but a lot of times he was. He had a really weird hook at one point that looked really bad and didn't go in. But then he had a lot of muscling in kind of stuff. Near the end of the game, he muscled in some shots going to the basket. This is really good. It's like I want Scott to get closer and closer to the basket with his shots because the more closer he is, the more successful he'll be shooting percentage wise and scoring wise. So Scott, don't settle for the outside. Your best stuff is inside. You need to be good enough on the outside that they have to respect you. But in some ways, you should be trying not to shoot the outside shot, but you need to be aggressive in taking it. But you also need to understand the situations where you're getting presented a chance to go around them because they're coming out to respect you, and you need to go in. You need to go in because that's where you're going to feast. You will feast inside. Nobody can stop you, Scott. It's your world. We just live in it. You go down there and do whatever you want, whenever you want. And just like Siakam, be on that path to carrying us and being a number one and taking over and winning the game. Scotty was awesome. He stat stuff. 38 minutes. He got 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and 5 steals. He only had 1 turnover. I love that. He was a -3, 3 for 4 at his free throw lines. But yeah, I love that. 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 steals, 19 points. That's a stat stuffing by Scotty. And he may have had a bad first half like everybody else. But in that second half, he felt the spark of energy from his teammates, and he went with it too. And he got invigorated. And he started making good things happen out there. So thank you, Scotty, for doing glue guy stuff, defensive stuff, unspoken stuff, really, really good stuff. And at times you scored too and helped us carry too. So the third star I have for the game is Chris Boucher. Chris Boucher getting the chain after the game. The reporters saying some of the fans on Twitter, they're kind of like, why didn't Siakam get the chain? It's like they're all complaining about this. They're trying to make this a big deal. Who cares? Who cares? It's Darko's chain. He can give it to whoever the fuck he wants to, So, and as he said after the game, the chain is for a player. It doesn't have to be for the leading scorer. Just because Siakam, sure, he got 39, his high score this season. He had his best game of the season. And everybody's like, well, he got the chain against Milwaukee. Why wouldn't he get the chain in this game? Because it's like, well, maybe Darko's egalitarian. He wants to give the chain around to different teammates and kind of recognize each one of them. And in some ways, I have no problem with what he gave to Chris, because Chris was absolutely essential in the closing minutes of the game. As far as what I said earlier, transition baskets and blocks. He hit a 3 too in the game. So there was a couple of things Chris did really well. It wasn't like he was out there for a long time. He's had better stat lines, but he had impact. 21 minutes, 7 points. He had the highest plus minus on the team. He was plus 14. That's something. 3 blocks for Chris. When we see Chris getting blocks, that's fantastic. 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 of 6 from the field. He only had 7 points, but he had a huge impact with energy, confidence. And the thing I want to give kudos to Chris about, and Darko talked about this after the game, is being ready. His playing time's been erratic. He's not just in the rotation. He doesn't get it every game. But look at this. This is a guy who's semi-rotation, doesn't play every single game, and he's closing the game in a big-time role and really, really helping us win and contribute at the end. Brian Windhurst. That is something. Sure, Chris would close games last year with Nick sometimes, but in some ways, I like what this says. In some ways, last year, Nick Nurse was like, my best 5 will be out there at the end of the game to close it and try and win for the team. But, there's flexibility this year in who's going to get to close the game and help take us home. If you play really, really well, you could be out there like Chris last night. I know injuries had something to do with it. Sure. Gary and OG being out, it means that there was like closing position to be out there in. But it could have been Otto. It could have been Jalen McDaniels. It could have been Grady. It could have been a lot of different guys who got out there with the starters to be in the closing unit, but it was Chris. And to me, that is smart coaching by Darko. Understanding, it's like, look, this guy has been not totally getting in all the time, but I'm going to utilize him. I believe in him. He's staying ready. He's doing all the right things, and I'm going to play him at the close out this game. He could have picked a lot of different people. He could have played Pirtle. He could have played a couple of different looks at the end of the game, but he rode with Chris. And it was the right coach's decision. In some ways, when there's times of trouble with this team, like the first half of last night, I want to see what Darko does to get us to the light. And that's what he did. He did 2 things. He said, all right, y'all, I don't think y'all are going to win. Just have fun. Can you just at least do that? And then he had the guts to ride on Chris Boucher at the end of the game like that. In some ways, I wouldn't know if Chris Boucher would be playing like that if Nick Nurse was still our coach. Seriously, he may have his favorites. And if you're not necessarily, in his mind, the top 5 guys or this or that, you may not get in at the end like that. And I like that there's a versatility and a choice that Darko made on that. Otto started, but Otto was hot garbage. And he disappeared over the course of the game, didn't come back out. He got a stint in the second half, but not very long. So that says a lot about the acumen and the judgment of Darko with his personnel and utilizing them in the right situations and the right times. Very, very smart to have Chris Boucher in there for the end of the game last night. Very, very smart. Very, very smart. Yeah, I love you, Chris. You are awesome. My 4th star is controversial because he's a tale of 2 halves also. It's Precious Achiuwa, guys. I really like what Precious did out there. Now, most of y'all are going to probably be like, Precious was crazy. He was too out of control. He was causing problems in the beginning of the game. He was not playing within the team. He has had some issues in the last couple of days. I feel like Precious is having a harder time than some of the other guys on the team learning Darko's system because he's been out of position and really kind of like in some ways messing around out there. And you're like, what the hell are you doing, Precious? You look really bad right now. I get it. But in some ways we got to remember he's just coming back also. And this has been a pattern with him that he'll have a little bit of erratic play. But this is what I'm going to tell y'all right now. Precious was absolutely essential for us to win last night. He was energy. He was athleticism. He was talent. This is part of the reason why we won this game is because our team is way more talented than the Wizards. Our team is way more longer. Our team is more athletic. And the athleticism and the huge supreme talent of Scotty Barnes and Precious Achiuwa and Chris Boucher and Pascal Siakam, those guys won that game for us against the Wizards last night. Precious getting like that, just that one play where Scotty was bugging the ball handler for the Wizards. He's just irritating him, and he irritated him just enough to get his pass just off. And then Precious jumped in the passing lane and got a transition dunk really quickly. That was a spark to help us win this game. And it was really relying on the extremely athletic, amazing juggernaut talents of Achua and Barnes. And I love it. I love it for him because, like, honestly, you look at Precious's stat line, it's actually badass for all the mistakes in the first half. 5 of 8. That's great shooting. He didn't shoot badly. A lot of it was close to the basket. 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. He did have 2 turnovers, 10 points, a +8. But it's the spark, it's the talent, it's the raw athleticism of some of our players that put us over the top against Washington, and they just can't match it. In some ways, that's like the thing we cruise on often. Some of the games in the last couple of years where we get into these holes and then we come back like we did, it's all because in some ways we're so arrogant because we're so talented athletically that we feel like we could just come back from any deficit. And we can. It's true. But I hate that kind of basketball, y'all. Can y'all just be good and play perfect from the start and just blow them out? Kind of like how the Celtics have been doing lately. In some ways, making a hole for you to dig yourself out of. It's impressive that y'all can do that. And you have a lot of practice of doing that the last couple of years. But can we just play better basketball from the start? And then we don't have to play like really crazy comebacks to win games. Please. But yeah, Precious is one of my stars. And some people will say, what are you talking about, Lex? Precious was hot garbage at times last night. And he was. But it was a tale of two halves. And he was a big part of the second half and part of the reason why we won. So I'm giving him that. Grady Dick's my last star of the game, my 5th star. I'm really kind of annoyed with the Raptors for certain things with Grady Dick. Grady Dick was awesome. I felt like he was doing 2 different things last night. He hit threes, and he was on the offensive boards. David, you were right. Grady is an amazing rebounder. His timing, his swooping in, him trying to get in there and get those offensive rebounds and keep possessions alive for us were awesome at big times last night. 3 of 4 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, 3 offensive rebounds, 4 altogether, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, +2 with 8 points. You know, listen, my gripe with Grady is, why didn't y'all go to him more? He was like the only guy who was hitting any threes in the first part of the game, and y'all went away from him. He hit those 2 threes real quick, and like Alvin said it on the broadcast, once you discover that and you got Grady going like that, why don't you go to the well some more? What are y'all doing? There was one point where Siakam looked him off, and I'm like, why are you looking off Grady? Why are they freezing him out all of a sudden? Like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? There was a little bit of feelings of selfish play last night that bugged me. A little bit of selfish, like stuff from bullshit from last year. Whether it was Scotty going in isolation mode by himself and just holding the ball for like a huge amount of the shot clock. That's not 0.5. That's not Darko's style of passing, Scotty. Or Siakam going in the lane and Grady's open in the side, but you're throwing it to Precious in traffic instead. Throw it to Grady. Don't be afraid. Give it to the kid. Because honestly, he had some open shots. Y'all didn't find him. And he was the hot hand. And we needed threes. So y'all need to find Grady better. Please. Please. And don't be afraid to give it to him. He's a very confident shooter for being so young. And as Darko said after the game, he's our future. That's what he said straight up. He said, Grady, we need to ride with him through his mistakes and whatever he's doing, but we need to keep building with him because he's a big part of our future, is what he said. So I love what Grady did. I just wish I saw more. And y'all went away from him too soon. You know, that was all in the beginning of the game. And when we weren't getting anything going, Grady was hitting threes. And we needed to see more threes from him as the game progressed. And I don't know why y'all weren't finding him. Seriously, he was there. He could have gotten them. So there's my 5 stars of the game right there. Siakam, Barnes, Boucher, Achua, and Dick. You know, I could give some honorable mentions to a couple different people. Also, Malachi Flynn probably is the next guy to get a star possibly from me because he was quite solid in different ways last night, but not too flashy also at the same time. All right, let's keep going with the chat. Trevor J saying, Darko told Pascal in the locker room after the game, you are fucking amazing. He did say that. They had to bleep it out. on Open Gym. Players love when coaches recognize them, especially with cussing. Yeah, well, you're fucking amazing, Pascal. Oh, thank you, fucking coach. Yeah, all right, woo. Yeah, no, it was good. I'm glad to see the celebrations. I didn't expect the game to end with a celebration and people cheering in the Raptors locker room after the way that game looked most of the game. I was like, all right, I'm glad it got to that point. And I'm sure all of us are too. I mean, holy crap. Why do we have to keep doing this Indiana Jones, pull the airplane up before it hits the mountain and go dun 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 dun, dun, like keep flying short round? Jeez, holy crap. Holy crap. Why do we have to do that, y'all? Is that necessary? You gonna mess with our hearts. You're gonna give us heart conditions from playing like that. Chris is here. Good to see MSJ. Very happy to see Flynn and Dick show up with quality time. Wizards were picking on Flynn, and he held his own. Those two helped us hang in there. Those two helped us hang in there in crucial times before Pascal was able to take over. Yeah. In the first half, these guys in some ways were the best thing going. Grady and Malachi to a degree. It was interesting. Let me break down Malachi real quick. 23 points, 2 for 3, 1 of 4 from 3. He hit his only free throw, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 turnover, plus 12. The second highest plus minus 6 points. So he must have been doing something right. Dennis had his worst game of the year. He had his bad game against Celtics, but he had even worse one for 12. And the things that were happening with Dennis last night that was bugging me was he was very selfish. This was like the first game where I felt like Dennis held the ball himself and tried to take shots himself too much. Like, I get it. You're trying to take over and do things to help the team yourself. But those little dribble drives into the lane and you just trying to put the shots over people and they were missing, those maybe should have been passes. And I don't know. 1 for 12, Dennis, is a tough game. I know you'll bounce back and you'll take a W with such a shitty shooting game. There's a game like this for Germany in the World Cup where Dennis was really bad like this, but they still won. So I know how he felt after that. He's like, I'm just glad we won. I don't care if I played absolutely horrible. But yeah, it was a tough game for Dennis Schroeder. He got banged around a little bit and he couldn't make his shots, but we still won. And he was key. He was key in the end. Like, that's the great thing about having an old head pro like him is like he can have a really bad game, but he's still contributing at the end of the game, playing in it and doing good things like hitting 2 key free throws to close the game out and ice it out. Even though he only had 4 points, 2 of those points were 2 of the points that got us the biggest lead to get the 4 points above the Wizards. So Dennis hanging in there and being an ultimate pro, even though he's not playing well, doing important stuff with defense and playing with the team late in the game and not getting in his head just because he's not playing so well. So in some ways I got to give him kudos for that, but he did play selfish in the first half. And that was part of the reason why we were playing so bad. We need you to get those assists better early, and you should be looking to get assists because there's some of them were beautiful last night. You had a couple passes last night that were fantastic, Dennis. We want to see more of that. We want to see more of that for sure. But yeah, I felt bad for Dennis Schroeder to a degree because I knew he was struggling out there. I really did know he was struggling out there. Let's see. The other side, the point guard for the Wizards was absolutely a key to terrorizing us. Whatchamacallit? Jones. Jones was really getting good things going for them. He was like their best player on the other side on the down low, and he was the highest plus minus. Wes Unseld Jr. was using Jones when they were in trouble. He's like, "Oh, I better bring Jones back in." It was kind of like when they were not doing well when he wasn't in the game, and they needed Jones in there. It was really interesting in that way. Kuzma was fantastic. Kuzma is just shooting the lights out, just being annoying. Jordan Poole sucks. That's all I'm going to say about that. Bilal, very annoying. He had an interesting game. The youngster from France, he was very tough around the basket with defense and stopping our guys, and also just showing good acumen for such a youngster in the game. Bilal Coulibaly is going to be a good player. All right, let's keep going in the chat. Cowboys here. Good morning, Lex. Bam, 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 man. Freaks. My 5 stars go to Darko for this win. Also, if all of our players played the same way as Boucher, we would be unstoppable. Let's go. Yeah, I love it. Chris really sparks. They were sparks of energy. There was talent. There's flexing. There's like, look, we're not going to deal with this. Siakam fed up. Siakam, like, I don't want to go through this bullshit. You know what, guys? We're going to listen to it from the press. We're going to listen to the rest of the NBA. We're going to listen to it from our fan base. If we don't win this game tonight, I know about this. I've been down this road, y'all, and I'm going to start carrying us right now. I'm going to do something about it, all right? I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to start going crazy and scoring like crazy, 18 points in the third quarter. He's like, I don't want to deal with this, y'all. Seriously, we need to win this game because if we lose to the Wizards, people are going to dump on us, and our lives are going to be miserable for the next couple days if we do not win this game. In some ways, that would be enough initiative or impetus for me as a player just to avoid all the toxic, negative bullshit talk that the people will say about my team if I lose to the Wizards, the lowly Wizards, on a Monday night. That would be like motivation for me if I was a player. And I'm sure that is a big, huge motivation for Siakam. Life is just easier when I win because people aren't criticizing me. People aren't saying shit about me. So I just need to win. I get it. Do that. Use that as a carrot to keep you going and get you to wins. That you don't want to deal with the loss and the fallout and all the bullshit that people say afterwards. Yeah, I'm with you. They're saying bullshit today anyway, and rightfully so to a degree, because y'all did suck. I'm so glad y'all won, though. I'm just going to say that. Cowboys saying Grady from downtown. That's right. Grady was vibing after the game. Let me go do the Instagram stories real quick. First, we got Chris wearing the chain. He has so many, like, that's on Dennis's. Dennis is celebrating Chris and Pascal, and he's got a picture of himself. And then there's one of the nice assists by Dennis in transition to Chris Boucher. One of the baskets I was talking about earlier, where he finished it with a dunk. Yeah, that's a great pass by Dennis right there. Koloko has got Joel Osteen on his. I'm like, why you got Joel Osteen on here, man? He's a sham, bro. Don't send him any money, Christian. Do not send any money to Joel Osteen. Why is he on your Instagram stories? Do not believe that man. You can't believe a man that talks with his eyes closed and he just wants your money. Come on now. Siakam's got his dunk on blast on his Instagram. He's loving what happened in the celebration for Chris. Open gym moment afterwards. Then we've got Grady with his shot. And then this is what I'm talking about. Grady's out vibing, driving around in Toronto last night after the game, pumping music and just feeling the vibes after a win and him being a part of helping to make that win happen. Grady is just cruising in Toronto, feeling good in his vehicle. You can see, I don't know what intersection that is. Looks like he may be down at the lakeshore. Let's see. Matt Devlin has the play. Slim Duck, all kinds of like replays of the fun from last night. All of his friends posting his highlights. And then Slim Dunk had an impromptu Twitch session last night. He was on the video games with his guys. He just built a new game room at his house. So his buddies are in town, and they're all over there playing video games late last night. So if you were on Twitch, you might have been able to watch Chris and his guys on there last night. I don't know. That's pretty much it. There's other stuff. Mr. New York City's got a couple things too, but it's all motivational speaking. And him in the Raptors jersey getting ready to play. He was suited up. I was thinking we might get to see Marquise because the game was going so bad, but it didn't turn out that way. And in some ways, I'm glad we didn't see Marquise because we won. But also in some ways, I wish I'd seen Marquise last night. That would have been good. Trevor J saying, good morning, Cowboy. How did you like last night's game? I think he did like it. I know I did, even though it was really uncomfortable for the first part of it. Cowboys saying, whoever turned their TV off early in the game, you can never count this team out. That's right. How dare you not understand who the Raptors are and count them out too early? This is the one thing I will always say. Never, ever turn it off until everything's expired. If there's no more time on the clock, sure, you can turn it off, but don't count them out. Seriously. And last night was another lesson for that. Trevor saying, Chris gets rewarded for his amazing energy. That's right. He was a catalyst. He was a person who helped carry with energy and enthusiasm. Siakam carried with points and leadership. Chris Boucher carried with energy and running up and down that court and playing great defense. Cowboys saying, good morning, Trevor J. It was fucking awesome. Great teamwork to come back and get that W. Yeah, it was huge, but I don't want to win like that all the time. They said that. We can't do this. We can't do this all the time. All of them saying that after the game. Cowboys saying Chris is a bench mob material. Chris is just awesome. And I like that, in some ways, like, look, this man's just being an ultimate pro this season. Younger Chris may not deal with this time or be ready to do this right now like this. Seriously. In some ways, he may sulked, or maybe he just didn't keep himself right. And he couldn't have been depended on to be that role in the moments that he was at the end of the game last night. Now he's matured. And you see, like, look, that's what being a good NBA pro is. is like, look, you may not get to play every game. You may not get to play but like 5-10 minutes, but you're ready for that 5 or 10 minutes, and you're giving quality to your team, and you're giving them something to help them put them over the top to win. And that is what being an ultimate, real, consummate NBA pro is. Chris is an NBA pro. He's not just a young guy trying to make the league. He's a pro now because he plays like a pro. He practices like a pro. He preps like a pro, and he's ready like a pro. How about that? That's what I'm saying right there. Yeah. Cowboy's saying, like Lex says, I love it. I love it. Yeah. Lumpy Rex is here. Good to see Lumpy Rex. A great voice in the Raptors nation, a great Raptor freak, and one of our guys. We love Lumpy. Character win tonight. Never give up. They can take this lesson to the next game. Yeah, they can't do this against Milwaukee. No, you can't play like this. You got to play more perfect basketball. If the quest for the Raptors is to play more perfect basketball, then that's the quest. Do it. Play better basketball. Play less turnovers. Make your free throws. Make the passes. Make the open shots. These are things we need y'all to do. Play more perfect. Cut out the mistakes and play the right way. That's right. That's what we want. Lumpy Rex, we love you, and we hope you're having a great Tuesday after a weird victory last night. Trevor J saying, Chris always sacrifices his body for the team. Yeah, I love this look. He's got like a really cool poofy hair right now and the cool goatees right here. He's looking awesome. It's kind of gnarly. His look right now is gnarly. There's a good 80s look. Gnarly stuff, dude. Gnarly stuff, Chris. Yeah, he was ready, and he sacrificed his body. That's right. Alley-oop to Chris Boucher, or Chris MSJ. All right, I'll give it a Chris MSJ. All right, let's see. Cowboys saying, Chris Boucher, let's fucking go. Yeah, that's right. G saying, I fucking love Darko. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Like, I was like worried. It's like, oh crap, is this guy not going to be a good coach? Is this going to be a dud? You know, if he can't get success, that's part of the problem. You get a new coach, they have to have success, and then the fans will be like, yeah, we love our coach. Sometimes it's not. You need a lot of success to get okay with that level. Well, he's doing things that show that he's a good coach. Whether it's motivating them the way I told y'all earlier at halftime, or whether it's just like getting more development, or how he's utilizing these guys and the rotation decisions. That time he's not perfect. There were a couple lineups in the first half was like, holy crap, this is a horrible lineup. Get these guys out of here. They can't play together worth crap. There were a couple lineups like that. Once again, it seems like stability is garnered around Siakam and Pirtle. That when those guys are out there, good things are happening for us for the most part. Siakam specifically last night. Pirtle in some ways was not so good in some ways. That's why he wasn't one of my stars. Although he didn't have a horrible game. It's just that he wasn't utilized a lot. And Gafford was kind of killing him. But, you know, Gafford could have been a way worse problem last night without Pirtle around at the beginning of the game. They could have established Gafford down low, and that would have changed the game a lot. So in some ways, Pirtle starting and going up against Gafford at the beginning, even if he's defeated by him, he at least impeded him and didn't make him like a center that's just eating us alive without a center. So it's a weird situation in that. All right, let's see. But I love the rotations and the decisions. The ride with Chris at the end of the game, that was smart. It was very, very smart. Kareem's here. Good to see Kareem Thomas. OG Anunoby almost chopped his hand off. Therefore, we should get him Tada's services to help him around the house. Okay, Kareem. You're trying to get me to do an ad and give you a dunk. You are successful because I'm going to do both. Listen, I don't know what OG did to his hand exactly. You know, it's true. This guy has really bad luck. He's just like appendicitis right before a championship run. You know, just really weird, quirky stuff. Now, the one we're hearing is he sliced his hand at home and doing household chores on Sunday night, and that's why it was a DNP. It was his right hand. So it's just shooting hand. And I don't know. Maybe he does need Bradley to come down there. Tada's Services is in the greater Toronto area, and they'll help you with odd jobs. OG, if you can't use your hand to do certain things, call Bradley. Look them up in the social media, and they will come down to your house, and they'll help you, OG, with living your life. So Bradley can help you, OG, if you can't do things because your right hand is all messed up because you cut it. It was interesting to see OG was holding his right hand in a pocket. And I guess maybe he was trying to not use it to high five his teammates. I'll keep my hand in my pocket, and then I won't hit my into somebody's hand while I'm like trying to high five because we're winning. That it was smart. And I saw him when he's coming off the bench. He's high-fiving with his left hand and keeping that right hand in his pocket. So he probably did slice it pretty good. I mean, probably painful, and it's probably not really fun to try and shoot with it. I don't know. I just want him to get better. In some ways, this sucks that like OG's missing time for a household accident. Household accident. Yeah, G's laughing at Kareem. He got the dunk, guys, and he got the advertisement too. He got the dunk and the advertisement. All right, let me see. Where am I? I jumped ahead. Let me make sure that I get everybody's comments on a weird win. It was a weird win. Honestly, I mean, I'm not really that proud of it, but I'm glad they won. I mean, let's just say that. We're just glad they won. Cali stress meter, it probably killed, like it was really, really bad in the beginning of the game. Really, really bad. All right, there's a lot here. I will need a cutoff, guys, but who knows? Maybe I'll go 3 hours today. Who cares? Who cares? Maybe I'll just go 3 hours. All right, there is a lot in here. All right, I'm gonna make sure I get to everything. Sorry, I need to speed up too. I know I'm not getting through the comments very quickly, so I'll make sure I get everything. Hang on. Wow, there is a lot. I'm still scrolling back, guys. All right, here we go. Where am I? I'm right here with Chris. I love the hair Chris Boucher was sporting. And I dare say, 5th star to Flynn. From what I saw, he had his shit together out there on a poor night from Dennis, a plus 12 too. This was really weird that like Dennis was so off. Flynn was okay. I mean, he was all right, Chris. If you want to give him a 5th star, that's fine. He's my 6th star at this point. But listen, the thing was that they decided to go with a 2-point guard lineup, a la like Kyle and Fred from years past, Malachi and Fred from years past. Well, Dennis and Malachi last night. And part of the reason why Darko did this is because we were having such a hard time controlling the ball or keeping the ball from being a turnover. And also we were having trouble with pace, or we weren't getting up and down the court really quickly. The guys were so lazy in the beginning of the game. It was pissing me off. I was like, y'all deserve to lose because y'all don't have no pep in your step. I can tell when they're like walking over to get the ball from the ref to inbounds it. I'm like, dude, run over there, get the ball moving, get invigorated, get energy going. But they didn't have nothing. They had no momentum. They were inert. And that was part of the problem with them in the beginning of the game. So Darko was smart. He employed a 2-point guard lineup at times during the game last night to increase pace, increase good ball handlers that aren't as likely to turn over the ball, and to also try and cultivate more of the offense. In some ways, it's also the old school thing where if Kyle's out there and he has another point guard with him, they can pass it to him and he can be off the ball. And that may not have been smart with Dennis the way he was shooting last night. But in some ways, maybe that was part of the way that Darko was trying to get Dennis going. Is like, okay, you're having trouble right now. I'm going to let Malachi bring the ball up, and we're going to leave you off the ball and maybe try and pass it to you, or vice versa. Dennis, you're not shooting well. Let's get you to get Malachi going. But it was really smart to use that double point guard lineup with Dennis and Malachi last night. In the second half and in the first half, he was trying to fix things with different results of success, really. Because in some ways, Dennis just had such a bad game last night that it was salvageable just because he could help in little ways where he could. But his shot was really bad last night, so bad. But yeah, the 2-guard lineup was interesting. And that was part of where Malachi was successful for sure. Let's see. G saying Pascal with a masterpiece. Scotty was huge defensively down the stretch. Chris was a spark plug. Flynn contained his man. Grady's IQ will be huge for this team. I love how he just swoops in. Like when he gets those offensive rebounds, I'm like, yeah, Grady. Yeah, Grady. Woo, Grady. Yeah. Trevor's saying Kareem, OG thought he was a ninja. I don't know what he thought. Maybe what was he doing? Slicing tomatoes, slicing onions? What was he doing? What was the household chore? This is the kind of insight and detail we want. We want to know what he was doing. Was he hanging around with knives? Was he playing with a knife? What was he doing? How did he cut his hand? Did he cut his hand on something stupid that was sharp, that wasn't a knife, like the edge of a window or something? I don't know. I just want to know, did he break something and it cut the glass or so? I don't know. Is what cut his hand? We want to know what happened. What happened? We want to know. Cowboy wants to know. Kareem saying Darko cussed the Raptors at halftime in Serbian. That you just put Serbian and cussing in there. Get your head out of your fucking asses and it worked. Is that actually it in Serbian? I don't know. Tom and you guys maybe know a little bit of Serbian. Where's Greg? You read that for me. I think that is what it says. Get your head out of your fucking asses and work. I don't think he said that. That's not what he said. He said, you guys are not going to win this game, and I just want you to play for fun. That's what he said. That he said. I don't think he said, get your head out of your fucking asses and serve me. But if he did, that's awesome. Let's see. He was chopping up food to eat. Okay, so it was like a kitchen accident. He was chopping food. Maybe he didn't have his fingers like this. He had them out like this. Ah! I was like, oh my gosh, OG, please. We can't have you lose a finger or something. Come on now. Chris is saying that Savannah Hamilton, what position did she play at Ryerson? She looks like a powerhouse of a forward next to Pascal. I think she was a forward, to be honest. Yeah, she played for Ryerson, for the Ryerson Rams, which is now a different school. But yeah, I don't. That's really non sequitur. Bringing up Savannah and how she looks like she played. Yeah, she plays. She's a basketball player, that's for sure. Kareem saying I saw some clips of her recently taking people to school. Like I think she actually played against Alvin in a game recently, and actually had some moves on Alvin. And we know Alvin's been around. Kareem saying Savannah Hamilton is my mistress. She just doesn't know it yet. Okay, Kareem, I'm not giving you a dunk for that. That's creepy. That's just creepy. Don't be like that. Don't be like that. Come on now. I know. We all know she's an attractive young lady. But come on. We that's not what we judge her on her merits. We judge her on her amazing skill as an interviewer and the job she's doing for the Raptors broadcast. Okay. All right now. All right. Let's see. Cowboys saying that's crazy. Get chef call Serge. Yeah, maybe that's what he should do. Get a new personal chef. Although he's playing in the German league. He can't really do it right now. But that would be weird. Like if Serge was like the personal chef of one of the Raptors all of a sudden. Like OG would be perfect for sure. Chris is saying at Kareem, oh yeah, she's one beautiful woman as well. Good luck, man. All right, those kind of tangents. In some ways, I'm like, all right, guys, tread lightly. Come on now. Cowboys saying, I agree, G. Let's fucking grow Wizard 2. There you go, Cowboy. I like that. Chris is saying, also, I have to say that free throw rebound by Grady was something to rarely see from a Raptors player. So nice to see a shooter who loves a rebound. High IQ dude. Yeah, like that was really smart. And I've been noticing he does this. Like, this is one of his things. He really likes to swoop in on a missed free throw and try and get it. And he was successful last night. He actually went and got the ball back for us after a missed free throw. And that's cool. In some ways, Grady's the kind of player that'll probably pay attention to all his teammates and their tendencies at the free throw line and which way they may bounce the ball off. These are what great players do. Dennis Rodman studied all the trajectories of the bounces from all the Bulls. Michael Jordan shoots this way, the ball's going to bounce off the backboard or the rim this way. Scottie Pippen shoots this way. Well, this is where it might go for him. So he got an individual scouting report on his own teammates for how they shoot and their tendencies to go and get the ball. And that's why he was part of the reason why he was such a great rebounder. Well, if Grady's doing this kind of stuff with his teammates, it's like, all right, Chris is going to likely to miss to the left. I'm going to that side of the rim. It's as simple as that. And wow, he had one of those last night. I love it. I love it. You pointing that out. That's awesome. Seymour saying, at no point did I think we were going to lose togetherness. You're crazy. Seymour, you said this before about San Antonio. This is like your thing. You're saying, I never thought we were going to lose. I knew we were going to win the whole time. Well, I love your confidence. I wish I could have been there with you. I wish I could have been there with you, is what I'll say. Cowboys saying, yes, sir, Mountain Standard Time. Mr. Mountain Standard Time. Seymour Pape holding it down in the province of Alberta for us. We love you, Seymour. David saying, Dick played great. Not sure what his stat line was, but he looked awesome out there. His stat line was great, David, and I gave him a 5th star. And, yeah, his stat line was fine. It was fine. I mean, what did he get? He got 8 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turnovers. But yeah, 2 3-pointers. I like the 2 3-pointers. And my gripe is he should have been gone 2 more. That like, why did you guys just uncover him and say, oh, there you go. There's a 3-point shooter. Gary's out. OG's out. And then you didn't go look for him anymore after that. That was a gripe I had. And I was like, yeah, you guys are idiots. Nobody's hitting threes. There's only one guy who hit any threes in the first part of the game. And I was like, why aren't you going to him more? We need that. Well, I guess we don't need threes to win. At least against the Wizards, you don't need threes to win. Because honestly, that's crazy. Like the 3-point shooting was absolutely horrible. This may have been the worst 3-point shooting this whole season, and we still won. That's crazy. Fiercely saying, good morning, fam, and happy Tuesday. If I had time, I would go on an anti-Pascal platforms and demand an apology. There you go. You got receipts. Pascal is him. He literally carried us, but kudos to Boucher. Yeah, Siakam carried. He carried. And you know what? In some ways, you could see Scotty's eyes light up. His hero, his favorite player. He's carrying us. He's showing me how to do this. He's teaching me how I can carry someday too. And that's what we want. We want a good role model for Scotty and showing like leadership. And in some ways, Siakam was giving a good example for Scotty. And there was a moment in the game last night where I saw Scotty's face watching Siakam be so masterful. And he really is a huge fan of him. Like, Scotty's really got talent himself, but there are things that Siakam can do that Scotty can't. And in some ways, that is why he's his favorite, is because I'm in awe of him, because I see what he does and he keeps me humble and he makes me realize, like, you know what, there's levels to this. And Siakam is on a certain level and Scotty appreciates it. And in some ways, it allows him to be that little kid and be a fan, just like he was of people like Kobe and others before. When he sees Siakam doing it in front of him, he gets a little bit like that. You could tell. I could see it in his face. He was like a little kid watching a hero of his in the NBA on the court with his teammate last night. And I love that. I love that. It's such a good role model what Siakam did last night. Really, really good role model. I love it. Cowboy saying, just wait for it. Wait for it. Seymour saying, salute, Cowboy. I texted you at halftime. At no point do I think we're going to lose. See, Seymour's got this confidence. I love it. Keep it up, Seymour. I have no problem with this. Have this confidence. I'm all about it. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptorsfreak crew. Beloved Pascal sure made his mentor, Dr. Kyle Lowry, proud. This is awesome. I'm glad you brought this up. And this was brought up last night. Pascal had the fourth greatest comeback in franchise history. Win by any means necessary. There you go. Just win, baby. That's what I say. I text Stevie Roos every day on game day. Just win. And he texted me back, just win, back. And I texted him back after the game. It was like, well, we just won, barely. I don't care. We got there and we got that W. Yeah, they were talking about how like Lowry's influence and what he did in that Dallas game was an impact in this. And like, in some ways, Siakam very much was saying this is like something that I've seen other Raptors in the past do. And it's time for me to do it sometimes too. This isn't the first time Siakam has carried. This isn't the first time that we've had a game one where he dominated. But in some ways, this was an interesting game. Because think about it this way. No Fred, no OG, no Gary. And he really kind of was just there with Scott and with the other guys, the bench. And in some ways, that's a different kind of carry without Fred or OG next to him for like he's had for a couple of years. So I'm really proud of Siakam. And it's true. Dr. Lowry is a huge influence on this. And if there's dog in our guys, it hopefully was inspired or taught from Mr. Dr. Kyle Lowry. Yes, the Groat. That's right. Cowboy saying, yeah, I seen it, bro. My bad. Was talking on the phone to my son. It's all good, guys. It's all good. David saying, doesn't Boucher make you proud to be a Canadian and a Raps fan? Now, that's a baller, folks. Yeah, I don't understand why they had us wearing the red, white, and blue practice shirts again. In some ways, the game last night was the War of 1812. It was. Seriously. I was thinking about this. I'm like, it was Remembrance Day the other day. I get it. We're doing it on 11/11. We're going to wear red, white, and blue in Boston. But they're wearing the red, white, and blue before the game last night, too. And it's against Washington. This is all calculated by the NBA. I don't know if they were like wanting to commemorate like the stuff that happened in that war or something. Because you know what happened? The Americans came over this side of the border and tried to take over Toronto. And Canadians fought them off at the Fort York. Yeah, the Fort York down right near the water. Y'all don't know this part of history. In the War of 1812, they called it the French and Indian War. It's not really the most PC name, but they came across and they wanted to take Toronto. And we fought them off and they went away. In some ways, this is what this game was. The Americans came from D.C. and they tried to take the game last night. And it was a bitter battle and it was very, very close. And the Canadians prevailed at the end of it. So I don't know, a little history lesson right there. I call this a War of 1812 kind of game where it's like very close and boy, by the skin of our teeth, but we protected at Fort York. And yeah, the Americans go home with a loss. There you go. It's crazy. It's crazy game. Crazy game. Fiercely saying, weird game indeed. Is it me or is sharing the ball concept kaput? It looked like last year, Pascal doing ISO, which I'm not complaining. I'm a little bit worried about this. All right. I was a little bit worried in the first half that the guys were not listening to Darko anymore, that they just don't give a shit about what he's telling them to do because of what you're saying, Fiercey, that you saw, that these guys weren't playing the same system that they've been playing most of this year. They were playing a lot more like last year, like you're saying. And I'm not about that because it didn't work in the first half. And in some ways, I don't like them holding the ball. It doesn't have to be 0.5 seconds, but it should be maybe a second. And they shouldn't be like tying up. Like there's been a couple of times where I've seen them lackadaisical. Like I didn't like Dennis's energy of how lazy he was, like walking around up and down the court, very slow. And in some ways, the pep and the step is something that bugs me. Like it wasn't there with these guys. So I don't know. It's a weird thing. I don't want Darko to lose control of what they're doing on offense. I want him to call plays. I want them to respect his play sets. And I don't want them to go off script and just try and like start doing old isolation bad habits from last year. And in some ways, Siakam did that to a degree, but he was super successful and it didn't matter. But in some ways, also, he was doing it within the Darko system in the second half. It's the first half that didn't seem like they were listening to Darko or doing what Darko wanted them to do. And that's partly why they were failing. And it's weird. There was a little bit of like shades of last year in the game last night. As far as selfish play, yeah. Cowboys want an alley-oop for David. All right, yeah, he makes it proud to be Canadian. I'm proud to be a Canadian. Where I know I am free. All right, let's see. Chris is saying the first half was moron ball. Moron ball. That's a pretty good term for it. Yeah, moron ball. And why? I see the team mentality handcuffed by the 0.5 second read and react. On a Celtics game, Scalabrini said the Raptors didn't have the personnel to do it. Team needs time. Fuck Scalabrini. I don't give a shit what that motherfucker says. Yeah, fuck that guy. I don't care what he says. His judgment, he's going to say whatever the fuck he's going to say out of his ass. So I'm not going to listen to him. Listen, they're going to do it the way they're going to do it. And if it's not working, Darko has to adjust. And it seems like there's a hybrid or there's kind of a middle ground between last year and this year and his intense 0.5 quick. In some ways, I really want them to kind of be smarter with the reads and really pick apart, like I said, a puzzle of the other team's defense. That we get mismatches all the time. We got mouse in the house all the time. And it's just really being smart about getting those, capitalizing on those advantages and doing them. In some ways, I feel like we're making boneheaded decisions still, like passing it towards a double team instead of away from a double team, or making an extra pass when you were the one who probably should have took the shot, or other stuff like just not making the right read for the offense on what the right decision is. Sometimes they're just making mistakes with their decisions, and they should make the opposite decision. And it's just getting used to what's the right place and the personnel, the new personnel they're playing with, and the new coach. Let's see. Fiercely saying Jordan Poole is pure comedy. His defense is so garbage. One moment he does a crazy handle, then turnover. Even as a Raptor fan, I was annoyed. I don't care. I knew he was like this. You're propped up by Splash Brothers. You can look real good when you're running with the Warriors. You see when you're on your own, see what you are. Yeah, we understand. I knew he was a fake the whole time. I called it out 2 years ago before he left the Warriors. Everybody's saying he's going to be such this, such that. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Y'all clouded your judgment. You just want the next young Splash Brother to come up. Well, he got in a fight with Draymond, got rejected, and now he's not in anywhere like this. They're going to try and market him? Yeah, okay. Yeah, right. All right. We'll see. Randolph is here. Good morning, beloved Raptors freaks. Most informative gang. Blessings, especially from last night. The win, it ain't pretty, but it's comforting. Yeah, I appreciate them winning. In some ways, I was going to just throw my hands up, after the first half and just be like, whatever. This is going to be a long season. Doing my channel may be very difficult, but I'm going to do it anyway. But thank God they won. And now we can have a nice stream today. Fiercely saying, and thank you for the blessings. Blessings right back to the Phillips family and everybody else out there. Fiercely saying, Lex, why do you think there are that many turnovers if we're not sharing the ball as often? The turnovers in the first half were really just lapses of judgment, just poor basketball playing. Like you saw it. It's just like half-ass passes, or like some of it was not being present. Like there was one pass where Siakam was standing at the sideline and he was not there. Precious tried to dump it to him and he was just like, oh, the ball's coming to me. And it just went out of bounds. Like it's really just dumb, little, like not concentrating or not playing fundamentally right basketball mistakes, those turnovers. That's why I hated them, because they were so ugly. And in some ways, they didn't really have anything to do with our offense. They didn't really have anything to do with other than our guys were not in tune with the game, and they're just making mental lapses, just making dumb little mistakes, like not connecting. Whether it was like Siakam's half-ass pass that got picked off and was a layup, whether it was him not being aware to catch the ball from Precious in a moment in the first half either. There were a lot of those kind of moments, and it looked real ugly. It was real, real ugly. But those are the kind of turnovers that, like, yeah, just play better fundamental basketball and keep your head in the game. They go away. And that's why I was like scared, because those are like, oh, those are turnovers that are like really unforced and just kind of dumb, like lapses of judgment turnovers. Does that make sense? Randolph saying, let's see. Troy's saying, again, lots of so-called Raptors fans switching the channel from halftime. Ha ha! Missing another historical night. That's right, Troy Henry. You're getting a dunk for talking about that. I love that too, man. Isn't that funny when that happens, Troy? You think they learned this by now? Never give up on your team. And yeah, you don't get to deserve to watch the good stuff later if you're going to go turn that TV off. Troy Henry, you're awesome. I hope you have a great Tuesday. Cool Cat saying it fiercely. It seems to me the team always start out with 0.5 and then they stop and play with match hunting and read and react to win. I say win by any means necessary. It makes it unpredictable. I agree with this. Yeah, but I don't really want a heavy dose of the isolation in the percentage. I think that if they can make most of the percentage 0.5 and team ball, but if there's it's like catering to the situation. Like in some ways, you needed Siakam to take us home last night. Well, revert to some of the stuff from last year and utilize his overwhelmingly good one-on-one isolation play. But it's all within what is needed at that time. And some of the ways that needs to be, it's kind of like what Nick did last year with going from zone to man on the defensive side. Maybe we could do something with our offensive side of kind of switching around like that in the way you're describing it with 0.5 and then a little bit of ISO kind of stuff mixed in there at times. Keep them guessing. I like this, Cool Cat. I'm picking up what you're saying. Fiercely saying, great words of wisdom, Trevor J. Yeah, I like those words of wisdom. They were poetic. It was really nice. And Cowboy saying, have a safe flight, Tom Dookie. Yeah, he's got to get on a plane. He's going on a jet plane. Big old jet airline coming to take me to Toronto. Yeah, I would say this, y'all. We have a Raptorsfreak hangout on Thursday night, 7 p.m. Real Jerk, Gerard and Carlaw, Tom Duke, myself, Isaac Campbell, the Saborin brothers, Evelyn, Adriana, all going to be there. So y'all come on down. We're going to have some karaoke, some good Jamaican patties and wings, jerk wings, all kinds of good food at the Real Jerk. So if you want to come down and hang out with the Raptors Freaks on a Thursday night, we will be there in between the games between Milwaukee and Boston. You can come down there and sing some karaoke with us and pal around. We'll watch the basketball games that are on TV, have some good food, and have some good company. So, yeah, that's it. For anybody who's watching right now, you want to come to the Raptor Freak hangout on Thursday night, 7 p.m., hanging out with Tom Dookie and Isaac Campbell and the rest from around Toronto. So come on down. It doesn't matter if you're regular in the comments. If you watch my channel and you enjoy it, you can come down there and just introduce yourself and say hey and have a good time with us. That's what's up. That's right. David's saying at Troy Henry, if someone is a Raps fan, they know better than to ever turn the game off before it's over. That's right. Real ones know. Tom Duke saying good morning. Indeed, he's getting on that plane. He's got everybody getting on the plane with him. And Tom Duke's he's ready to come and get his mug to join the Mug Brothers. That's right. I know you guys are gonna be Mug Brothers. Hopefully Bradley will be there on Thursday night. Chris, hopefully you can make it too, so we can make it a full contingency of the Mug Brothers. That's right. You guys got to come down there and induct Tom into your brotherhood. And that means probably like going across the street to the dog park with your beers or something. I don't know. Any element of danger in drinking a alcoholic beverage on the street is what the Mug Brothers are all about. I know it. I know that's what it was about. All right, let's see. Tom saying was so excited after getting that W last night. What a comeback. Yeah, this is good stuff. Tom's excited about coming to these games now. I mean, it would have been kind of like we lose to Washington like in a really bad way on Monday, and he's coming in for this trip against juggernauts like the Bucks and the Celtics. Yeah, it's good that they won for sure coming in. Yeah, Tom's saying the two GOATs were Scotty and Pascal. I agree with that. David's got Grady and Malachi also. Tristan's here. Good to see Tristan Phipps. What a crazy game. Laugh out loud. I'm glad we can laugh about it now, Tristan. In some ways, we would be crying today otherwise. I'm glad we can laugh about it. Mo's here. Good to see the super fan Monique Lawrence. She was at the game last night, holding it down with the vibes. A big part of the energy in the building is Monique willing the game towards us mentally. I'm sure she was doing that, y'all. I'm sure Monique is sitting there. She ain't having the first half. And she's probably like, all right, this second half, we got to do way better, Raptors. And she's probably focusing this mind energy. It's like W, 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 W. I'm like, I know she had a huge part in why we won last night. I know she did. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. Wow and wow. 3 stars of the game, Pascal, Chris, and Malachi. No words at the end. Fourth quarter, some fans left in the third. I was there, obviously. That's right. Must stay until the end. And she gets to feel the good vibes and the feelings of the win that did come at the end. We appreciate you, Monique, for going down there and holding down the fort last night. That's right. Monique was like a general at Fort York at War of 1812. She's looking with the periscope and seeing where the Americans were coming over the hill. And she's like shouting out directions to Raptor Freaks in the arena to get down there and fortify the bastions to fight off the incoming fight. Yes, we love you, Mo. Thank you so much. Country Kong saying, good morning, Raptors Freaks. Lex, crazy game last night. I'm so glad we won. I'm still in shock how it went down. We learned a lot about Pascal. Pay Siakam. We have to keep his talent on this team. I agree with this. I hope this can happen. But who knows? There's a lot of things that are dubious about our future with our franchise right now, and I hate it. But in some ways, we just got to go forward and just believe and trust in Messiah and Bobby. And hopefully things will all work out. I agree with this. I want Siakam to stay in a Raptors uniform for his whole career. Seriously. He will be a great player his whole entire career, and it'd be great if he could become the first guy to ever do this. I'd be so happy. Nobody's ever done this. We've never had a guy who was drafted by the Raptors who stayed with the Raptors their whole entire career. And if that can happen with Siakam, I'm all about it. Seriously. So seriously, try and make this happen, Bobby and Messiah and Larry Tannenbaum and MLSE, please. Because we'd like to have Siakam stay in a Raptors jersey his whole career. He's that good. We love him. Seymour saying, I'm proud as F. I love wins. There you go, Seymour. He never doubted. How did we doubt? We should be more like Seymour. We need to be more like Seymour. Cool Cat saying, the only difference with Pascal closing is he now has legs, not dead tired. Nick Nurse crazy minutes. He's dead bone tired. He was a closer in clutch during the chip run, also the year after. Yeah. I was saying this last year, and some of the ways that's one of the ways that Nick was sabotaging us. He really put Siakam in a bad position. Him and Fred run them ragged, and then ask them to take us home when they have no gas in the tank. The other team's making full substitutions, and their top guys are a higher level, and they're in better shape than our guys. Because this is a big part of it. Cool Cat's exactly right. He's like, this is what he can do when he's not dead ass tired because he's been run ragged and crazy ass minutes and over usage in the offensive system also. So yeah, I appreciate this. And I'm glad he woke up. In some ways, nobody was really moving quickly or doing enough in the first quarter. And over the game, they started to wake up. It's like, why are y'all taking so long to come out of slumber? Wake the fuck up. Seriously. What the fuck are y'all doing out there? Wake up. Fiercely saying agreed, Cool Cat. The 0.5 offense is not as predominant indeed. Yeah, in some ways it's a mix right now. It's a mix. I think in theory it's a good idea, and maybe we will see it in a higher concentration over time when they master it more. But for right now, just to keep things kind of balanced to possibly still try and win games, I don't think that they can just straight up do the 0.5 offense. And they do need to lean into some of the strengths from last year. Yeah, David's saying, let's see. No. I'm not trying to be a buzzkill, but why can't we hit free throws? All right, let me go look at the team stats since David brought this up. Our team stats weren't actually horrible. Yeah, we were bad at the free throw line. You're right. Actually, we were. We were better the last game. That's right. We were good at the free throw line against the Celtics, but not last night. Now it's weird because, all right, the Wizards came out scorching. They were shooting. They had only missed one shot in the whole first quarter. It's absolutely crazy. And we let them get 32 points in the first 2 quarters of the game, 64 at the half. And that was nuts because we only had 45. So it's like already a 19-point deficit at halftime. And their shot percentage was so high at halftime. They were like 70%. And we were at like 40 or 35%. So we did way better in the second half because we got to 50% shooting and they came down to earth around 51%. But we got more shots than them, 6 more shots, and made 2 more than them. The free points, 3-pointers were absolutely horrible. That was somewhere where like we got beat 24 by plus 24. They got 24 more points at the free throw line because they had 12 threes and we only had 4. 4 of 20 from 3. That's so bad. I can't believe we won with a 4 of 20 at the 3-point line. That's crazy. The free throw line made up for it. We got some of the points back from being at the line twice as much as them. In some ways, the refs were really not helpful to them. They were very much on our side. We had the refs on our side last night, and thank God we absolutely needed it to get to this win. The referees were biased for us last night, and we need to admit this when this is true, guys. We can talk about when they're against us and they hurt us, but they definitely helped us last night. They put us on the line a lot in situations that maybe we wouldn't have gotten them in the last couple of years. And the Wizards fans, even that play where Siakam inbounded it real quick and Kuzma wanted the challenge, that was awesome. First of all, I love that play all around. It was off us, and it should have been their ball. But Siakam was smart. He's like, no, hurry up. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. The ref gave him the ball so he can inbound it. Go into the play. Who cares if Kuzma's trying to get a challenge called and Scotty gets a layup all of a sudden? That is badass. That's the way competitive teams that want to win do stuff like that. It may be a little bit of cheating, but it is honestly, that's something I want to see our team do more of because the Sixers are going to do it. The Celtics are going to do it. So the Raptors need to do it too. Even if it's not totally fair, even if it's a little bit of cheating, I've seen guys quick inbound stuff all the time to cover up a bad call and try and keep the ball in their possession. So just do it. You get that opportunity. Siakam, you did the right thing. And so what, Kuzma? Wham, wham, wham. Cry about it. It's just like us crying about the challenge the other night against Boston. You can cry about not getting that challenge call or them hurrying up the game and getting caught. That's just smart strategy by us. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. So I love that play, particularly, even if it wasn't right, even if it was dirty, even if the ball was out of bounds and it should have been Washington's ball. That was awesome because that's competitive edge. That's showing that you give a shit. And yeah, maybe we will cut a little bit of corners in this kind of way. People have done this shit to us. We better do it when we get the opportunity to, is what I'm saying about that. So yeah, that was very interesting. That play, that inbounds play with Kuzma trying to get the challenge call. It's so funny. It's so funny. He's way out of position because of it. It's so awesome. We ended up out rebounding them, which is, at halftime, we were getting out rebounded by them. And they're a horrible rebounding team. So we had no business being out rebounded by them at the end of the game. So we were plus 10 by the end of the game. And we got double the offensive rebounds that they got. 16 offensive rebounds. Huge. Huge in this game for how we won. Keeping the possessions alive after really poor shooting a lot of the time in this game. We got 28 assists. They got more assists than us. 11 steals, 4 blocks. They got more hustle points than us. They had more turnovers. We had 19 turnovers that led to 26 points off turnovers. Like the problem was some of our turnovers were so bad that they were leading to just such easy baskets and keeping them alive. We were trying to fight to come back from the double-digit deficit in the second half. Then we'd have a lapse of judgment and boom, all of a sudden they're going down the court and getting a layup off of a turnover. That shit sucked. And that was like making me feel like we're not going to get back on them because we may get some of the lead shrunk. But then, they'll something stupid like a lapse of judgment and turnover, and then boom, they lay it up or they get an easy 3. And that was stuff that I was annoyed with. If that had been a better team, we wouldn't have won last night. It absolutely had to be one of the worst teams in the league for us to win the way we did last night. Because any other team would have either scored more to keep it more above us, or they would have figured out a way to stop us. They would have just done something better. And in some ways, the Washington Wizards, thank God it was them. Because honestly, we wouldn't have, most of the teams in this league, we could not have beaten like that last night. We really couldn't have. We really, really couldn't have. So we're kind of lucky in some ways that we were playing the Wizards in particularly. The points in the paint, fantastic, dominating. 76 points in the paint for the Raptors. A lot of that Siakam, Pirtle, Barnes, those guys going in there and mousing the house them down low. I love it. The foul calls were not fair. 22 fouls on the Wizards and 13 for us. I'll take it, because that's in our favor. So there's your box score right there. Yeah. The free throws question, David, concentration. They just need to concentrate. Some of them maybe are just like not in tune or thinking at that moment. It's about being present. They've got to be present. Siakam's free throws have been better recently. He didn't shoot very good free throws to start the season, but he's dialed in more right now. Scotty's free throws are pretty good for the most part. Gary's been absolutely horrible at the line for this year so far. But yeah, I wish they would take it more seriously and have a better overall team free throw percentage. And hopefully it'll get better as the season goes on. Take it more seriously. Take your time and stay present when you're shooting those free throws, Raptors. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Country Kong saying, Lex, respectfully, I disagree. At the end of that game, one of my take always was 100% that Pascal closed the game. He even hit the go-ahead shot. What more could we ask? He was unbelievable last night. Yeah, I mean, listen, all right, I understand what you're saying because of what I said earlier. I mean, I think he carried most of the second half, and he did hit that huge shot that did put us ahead. You're right. You're right. And maybe I'm not giving him the full credit, but I feel like part of it is like it was a team effort all around. And like, I'm just being really nitpicky. I'm being really, really nitpicky. Like I want him to go to that next level like Carter or Bryant and be like, yeah, I see it, but I want to see a whole string of them right at the end where it's just like he absolutely just killed the game and won it. So you know what? I'll give you credit. I'll give you credit. You're right. You're right. And I'm wrong. Siakam did close that game out and he carried and he was the man. He was the man. He carried us to that win. He totally did. It's in my title for the stream. He totally, totally did. Fiercely saying, yeah, Raps admin posting Masai and Darko picks was a fail. It wasn't a good look, and now haters will run with them. I know. I hate this kind of shit. I feel like we have youngsters running Raptors admin stuff, and they're just not very smart. Like they just don't have the right ideas about like what is a good idea and what isn't. Like the golden ticket contest. That's not a good idea. Taking pictures in a dirty alley with jerseys on a Sunday. That's not a good idea. Go find a better place in Toronto. And graffiti alley is a tourist attraction, but it looks trashy when you're standing next to a dumpster giving out our city edition gold. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. So in some ways, I question the decisions of some of the people that are running Raptors social media. And that there's no good PR in taking pictures of our GM and our coach frowning and miserable and blasting and putting it all over social media. So in some ways, you got to use your judgment, y'all. Think about these things. In some ways, we know from that Women's Day clip with Malachi and Precious how stupid y'all can be sometimes with not having the wherewithal of understanding what you're putting out there. And that was one of those instances. Those pictures are out there, just like Paul George in a Where's Waldo uniform. And we don't need those fucking pictures popping up later in memes. Seriously. So Raptors admin, have a little more smarts about the content you're putting out there. And if it doesn't befit our team or help us, don't put it out there. How about that? How about that? There you go. Most saying I felt like that too. Lex, see, she was in there she's got a lot of energy work, I'm sure. Monique has vibes to her. And she's putting those vibes out there for what she wants. And what she wanted was us to win last night. Let's just put it that way. Seymour saying, teams like Chicago, Portland, Washington, we should beat hands down. We got this. Stay the course. Yeah. Yeah, we should. Honestly, if you think about our record, we're 5-5 right now. And we could have easily been 7-3 in our first 10 games if we'd taken care of the proper business against Portland and Chicago. We'd be 7-3 right now, and we'd be the third team in the Atlantic Division, and we wouldn't have the same exact record as the Knicks and the Nets right now. We're all 5-5 right now. It's really weird. But yeah, listen, this is one of the things people were saying at the beginning of the year. What do you want our record to be after the first 10 games? And a lot of people were saying, oh, we'll be like 4 wins. Some people were saying 8 wins, 7 wins. Well, we're 5 wins out of the first 10 games. And in some ways, that's a huge accomplishment. Because if you look at our schedule that we played so far and you look at the power rankings of the NBA, we've played 4 out of the top 5 teams in the power rankings right now currently, and we've beaten 2 of them, and 2 of them beat us 3 times. So that's what I'm saying. We beat Minnesota and we beat Dallas. They're in the top 5 power rankings currently right now in the NBA. NBA put out power rankings yesterday, and we beat Minnesota and Dallas, who are both in those power rankings. We lost to Philadelphia twice, and we lost to Boston once. And those are 3 of our losses. Those 2 losses against Chicago and Portland should never have happened. So we should be 7-3 right now. And that would look totally different in the standings and the way people are looking at us right now. Seriously, it would look totally different if our record was 7-3 right now, like it should be. If we hadn't not fucked up our Portland and Chicago games so far. Yeah. Let's see. Fiercely saying, I must admit, Gafford was very impactful for the Wizards. Our 19-1 run, he was benched most of the time. Big mistake by their coach. Yeah, Gafford has always been on the down low, a force for them. Like in past years, he's been a huge problem for us in games where he dominates, he gets double doubles, he gets a lot of blocks. And now that Porzingis is gone, he's not like the backup, and he actually gets to start and play a lot. I'm really surprised at Wes Unseld Jr.'s fumble on that, Fiercey, because you're right. The stuff with Gafford out there was messing us up. But at some point, both the coaches kind of went away from, like, we don't want to play with our centers anymore. Because you saw Pirtle didn't get back in there either. So it's kind of like maybe if Gafford came back in, then we would have seen Pirtle coming back in and also. Or maybe they were just like, yeah, let's just play it with the smaller guys. And let's take the big centers out of this picture and let's compete this way. I don't know. Whatever it was, you're probably right. That Wes Unseld Jr. made a mistake not having Gafford more focal or in there more at certain times. I agree with this. Jimmy's saying, I fell asleep before the game, woke up to see us down 20, didn't want to tune into that, saw the comeback coming, but didn't want to tune into that because my superstitious self would think I'd ruin it. Thank you, Jimmy, for staying away, even if it was difficult. Yeah, whatever, man. You weren't there, whatever. I don't know. I don't get superstitious like that about with the Raptors. I do with the Jays, though. As soon as I pay attention to the Jays, they start losing. So I really ignore the Jays at this point. I just want them to win, and I won't watch them. Whenever I start to watch the Jays, and it's usually around the postseason, I need to stop. I just need to stop. I'm not going to watch the Jays all next year. And even when they get the playoffs, I'm not, hopefully, I will not watch them then either, because I feel like I had a part in that whole Minnesota stupid thing this year. And I'm like, damn, Lex, don't watch the Jays. They lose when you watch them. Damn it. I'm not going to watch them anymore. David's saying that's a fan, sacrificing his own enjoyment to help them win. Jimmy, you're going to get a dunk for falling asleep and missing the game. We're going to give Jimmy Pub a dunk for falling asleep and missing the game. I love that. All right, there we go. There's Jimmy right there. All right, let's keep going. Tom's laughing at Jimmy too. That's awesome. Evelyn's here. Good morning, family, and safe travels to Tom Duke. That's right. We're going to see Tom on Thursday. Tom's going to get we're going to get a Raptorsfreak shirt for Tommy and Isaac. Y'all come down there. Shaq Lindsay saying, what the fuck? If your only job is to shoot the ball, why the fuck can't you shoot the ball, Jalen, Precious, and Otto? All right, Shaq Lindsay wants to be the critic this morning. Now, we do have this rule on days where we win. I'd rather not be critical of them, but this is warranted because of the very, very shitty first half and the way we won this game. So we can kind of do a hybrid of like some constructive criticalness, but for the most part, we want to stay positive and just revel in winning this crazy thing. But we'll look at what Shaq Lindsay's saying here. Your only job is to shoot the ball. Why the F can't you shoot the ball? Jalen, Precious, and Otto in particular. All right, I'm going to go look at the three-point shooting because this is the area he's talking about. All right, once again, I'm going to say this. Our starters were 0 for 12 from 3 last night. Dennis Schroeder, 0 for 4. Siakam, 0 for 3. Scotty, 0 for 2. And Otto, 0 for 1. Now, Otto only took 1 3, but he really wasn't out there that long. 14 minutes for Otto, 2 of 6, 1 rebound, 1 steal, 1 block, 5 points. I like that Otto started. I'm going to say that first. I like that Otto started. In fact, that starting lineup was kind of cool. It had a very good veteran presence to it because Otto was in there. You got Dennis and Otto, very seasoned veterans. Pirtle, Siakam, very seasoned veterans. And then Scotty, the only young guy that's kind of like, maybe still kind of like working out kinks of like trying not to make too many young guy mistakes. I like that. That's a capable starting lineup against teams like Milwaukee or Philly and stuff like that with Otto in there. Now, Otto was a dud. For some reason, he just didn't have it. And it's fine because we explored him early. If he gets going and he gets a lot of minutes, makes shot, that's great. But there's other guys who can try after him, like Grady, Malachi, Jalen, and see afterwards. So I'm not really that upset with Otto. I like the look of him starting. I like the look of having the feeling of a veteran presence right away to start the game, but it didn't work. We started shitty. So in some ways, I get what you're saying. Now, as far as Jalen McDaniels, he's having trouble right now, obviously fitting in with the Raptors completely. He only got 5 minutes. He only took 1 shot, and he didn't do anything else. In some ways, Jalen's in a precarious place because Chris has a lot of background with the Raptors, and Jalen doesn't. In some ways, Otto has like certain things in this way. He's in a weird place, and I think Jalen's going to get used usefully at points in the season, but it may take a little bit for him to get more into things. I like that he did so well in preseason because it shows that there is merit to trying to get him going, and shows that he can be some sort of two-way force for us to a degree. But I think he's really just struggling because he's on a new team with a lot of new teammates, a new coach, and in some ways he's having a hard time fitting in right now. So we'll figure it out with him, but give him allowances on that, is what I'll say, being the new guy. And Precious was fine. I don't mind Precious. Precious is not supposed to be an outside shooter at so much. It's good that he can make the three and he'll take them. But in some ways, it's like he only took 1 3. I'm okay with that. That's not a big deal to me. You know, the guys that made the threes were Grady, Malachi, and Chris, and they were 4 for 7, 4 for 7. So in some ways, our bench shot pretty good, 4 for 8. They were 50% with Precious added in with them. So 4 for 8 for the bench, but absolutely dreadful for the starters. 0 for 12 for them. So the starters need to shoot better. The starters need to shoot better. It's not the bench. So, yeah, I don't know, Shaq Lindsay. These guys go cold. Sometimes they just don't shoot right. You know, Dennis has talked a lot about getting the ball to guys on silver platters so that they can catch it and shoot it easier. It's about how you pass it to them, like the spin, or just like the ball bounces, or like you get them in their rhythm, they're more likely to make it too. So there's a lot to it. Name was saying this kind of winning is unsustainable, but at this juncture of the season, still figuring out, I'll take it. Oh yeah, no, they're not going to be able to depend on winning like this. This is something that is a learning lesson, and thank God you got the W out of it. But yeah, of course, there's nothing sustainable about last night. It's a one and done. We see how it went. It happened this way. We got the result we wanted in the end. But no, a lot of stuff we did last night is a good, bad example of what we shouldn't do. Good, bad example. Yeah. Monique saying, I met Lindsey Dunn last night. Raptorsfreak family up to date. Awesome. You tell her that we're really enjoying her sideline work. We'd call it with the 905. In fact, they're playing today, guys. 7:30 tonight. Raptors 905 versus College Park Skyhawks for the second game in Mississauga, Paramount Fine Foods. The game tonight. And I got a ref report for the game tonight with College Park and Raptors 905. The crew chief is Charles Watson, number 60. The referee is Teresa Stuck. We saw her a lot last year, 68. And then the umpire is Marpierre Mallow, number 70. So there's your referee report for G League tonight. College Park at Raptors 905 tonight. Can you impress me a little bit more tonight, Eric Curry? Can I say something nice about you tomorrow? Let's see. Let's see if I can. We'll see what happens tonight. So, yeah, Raptors 905, 7:30. Watch it. Yeah. Let's see. Name was saying, let's fucking go, Monique. Lucky you. Hopefully you don't get too big time for us lowly freaks. You know, she already is big time, and she is sticking with us still, Nameless. She's big time already. Trust me, she's big time already. Nameless, she is. She's in a Google Pixel ad. Come on now. Come on now. Yeah, remember your roots, Monique. Yeah, I hope she'll remember her roots with us. But I mean, listen, Monique is just an amazing, powerful force in a Raptors nation. And whatever she does, I support, and I'm so proud of her, honestly. And you know, it'll be cool to see the future for her, the future for all of us Raptor freaks, and what kind of things we can grow in our RFF. You know, there's all kinds of fun stuff over the years. We keep building. Who knows what kind of fun stuff we could be at like 5 years from now? Who knows? Who knows what could happen? I'm diligent. I ain't gonna stop. And if this keeps going, you know, it could get even bigger. I see they're still putting out the Raptors subculture little clips of different people, Subway subculture. Well, sometime they're gonna have to come around and see us. At some point, they're gonna have to come around and see us for subculture stuff. I hope so. I would hope so. We'll have to see. Let's see. Fiercely saying, giving the chain to Boucher is something we call positive reinforcement. His efforts were rewarded, and Darko acknowledged his impact. I don't know how to respond to people who don't get it. Well, it's these people that just look at the box score and say this is the leading scorer, and they just should get it. I get that. And in some ways, Siakam did kind of deserve the chain last night, for sure. But in some ways, he's already gotten it recently. And in some ways, like somebody said in this chat, you know, they should try and give it to different people around the team to spread good cheer. And I agree with that. And that, you know, Boucher deserved it. He did deserve it last night. And like Fiercey said, this is encouragement. This will get him, like he's feeling like cloud nine. He may have had ups and downs this season, but he's riding high right now. And in some ways, he's encouraged by this. In some ways, it's gaining trust in Darko. It's like, damn, he may not have played me in the opening game of the season, but wow, he played me in crunch time last night, let me be a hero, and I helped to win, and I feel really good about it. So in some ways, maybe if I don't get to play all the time, or if I don't play in a certain game, I'm okay with it because I trust Darko enough I know now that if there is a situation where I can be useful, he will put me out there and I'll be in it. So there you go. There you go, right there. That's a huge, huge thing for trust with your coach. If you're going to be a semi-rotation player that's not going to get to play every game, well, this goes a long way. What happened last night? This goes a long way. Nameless is saying we got respect from the refs. All it took was playing the last place team. Oh man, I don't know if their directive was to help us win. Who knows? Maybe Scott Foster's like, damn it, guys, help the Raptors win. I've got money on them at halftime. Scott Foster's calling CJ Washington. He's like, you fuckers, I told y'all you need to get Raptors to win this game. So I don't know, I don't care how you do it. Just get it to happen. Let Siakam do whatever he wants. I don't want to be jaded in that kind of way and just so negative that it's like, I think that's the reality of it. But in some ways, in the betting world of sports, you can fucking make these kind of thoughts and stuff like that about, oh, this isn't the way they wanted it. This isn't the way Foster wanted it. You better call him, Donaghy. That's right. All right, let's see. David's saying, hey, Nameless, bam. Shaq Lindsay saying, Chris solidified his position off the bench as our seventh man. I don't want to see Grady, Precious, or Otto. That's ridiculous stuff, Shaq Lindsay. I want to see all those guys. They can all benefit and be successful at different times. It's just different guys are going to do different things at different times with varied success in different places. Well, the coach needs to be on the pulse of his guys to understand, well, this guy's coming up, and play those guys. And if they're not playing well, bring them out and get the right guys in. And in some ways, he did a really good job of picking the right guys to be out there. Who was in the game at the end of the game? Chris was, and not any of the three guys that you just mentioned. I wouldn't come down on those three guys. Grady played great. Precious was awesome. They're both two of my 5 stars. And Otto was fine. He just didn't have it. And in some ways, I love the fact that we could have the luxury of having an old head like Otto that can play a certain way, and that he doesn't give a shit if he doesn't play for the rest of the game. He just didn't have it, so he sat for the rest of the game. Now, if he had had it, he would have played more, and he would have done more for us. But I don't know what's not to like here, Shaq Lindsay. Now, be careful, because we won, and there's no reason to go after guys and say, hey, you don't want to see them. I want to see all these guys play and play very successfully. David's saying, welcome to the channel. Nice, Mo. Welcome to the channel. Who you welcoming to the channel? I don't know who. Mo's saying hustle play at another level. Hustle play on your hustle playing in your mind towards them. And then Chris is doing hustle play on the court. That's right. Fiercely saying, Otto didn't play a lot yesterday. I think he's more useful for key or specific moments. Yeah, he's good for he's good for veteran presence, another 3-point shot, spacing, very much know-how kind of things. Yeah, okay, so you guys just acting like you met each other for the first time. This is stupid. Nameless, come on, man. We know who you are. At least change your name and come in as whole other person like you have in the past, instead of like just acting like you're a new person with your same name that we've known for like years. Come on, man. What are you doing? Nice to meet you too. Okay, yeah. All right, let's see. Country Kong saying we should discuss the first half. Okay, yeah, we can. Disconnected play is putting it lightly. Scotty played great, but Pascal mentioned we have bad body language when teams score, and we know from Twitch, Scotty's emotional. Yeah. This is something that I've worried about at times. And like I said, the vibes were like last year's selfish, confused, weird, low energy, kind of like mopey vibes. And I was very scared, honestly. I thought it was like, oh, crap, are we falling into that pit like we did last year after 2 games in Orlando where we lost and everything was just off for the rest of the year? Is there something that Masai and Darko know that made them so sad on Sunday that's coming up? Because when I see Masai sad, I get worried, seriously. Maybe they understand the changes that are coming in MLC. Maybe they understand like how they may be handcuffed in certain ways that they don't like and they're fighting against. I don't know. I'm speculating. I'm just trying to fill in the blanks, but something's weird about the energy on this team since we went to Boston. The energy was high after Dallas and a couple of days practicing at Harvard. But the way we lost the Boston game was humiliating. There were certain things that happened, and in the next couple of days, it was a little weird, but we needed this win, and we got it. Thank God we got it, because this will help change the vibes, and the body language, like you're saying. Siakam sees these guys kind of hanging their head, walking like this, looking down. In some ways, this is important, your posture, to be confident. You want to be a confident person, hold your head high and look people straight in the eye and do everything in that way. Y'all are hanging kind of like this. Don't be Eric Curry. Be like holding your head high and like being smart and tough and like confident, even if it's ridiculous, like Dylan Brooks's confidence at times. So just be like that. In some ways, that's important. And fake it until you make it is what I'll say on that. Yeah, fake it till you make it. That's right. Let's see. Cowboys saying Grady's IQ and hustle. Bravo, bravo. I like that. Most saying this game shouldn't have been like that, but wow, yeah, it shouldn't have been like that. It was ugly. We had no rights to win that game last night. We probably shouldn't have. Shaq Lindsay saying I love Grady, but teams are attacking him on offense. Grady needs to be shot ready before teams lock in on him on offense. You know, he's doing okay on defense. I really don't think that it's as bad as you think. He's moving his feet really well. He's aware. It's just that he's so young, and in some ways, he's not very strong. And that's going to be part of the problem why he's not going to play so well. But he's keeping with guys, and he's playing solid defense. Like he's running around, he's staying in between the guy and the basket. He's doing his best. But in some ways, you got to realize he's a rookie. He's only 19. He's got a kid's body. He's got to grow into a man's body over the next few years. So I give him allowances on the defensive end with guarding people because in some ways he's putting the effort in and he's not absolutely getting destroyed or absolutely like it's not the point where we're like, holy crap, we're losing because he's such a defensive liability. I don't see that. I do not see that out there in some ways. I do feel like he needs to be shot ready on offense and they need to find him more. They should have found him way more after those first two shots. And that pissed me off, honestly. It's like, well, we're going to lose if y'all aren't going to try and go to the well where you were actually working, and that's Grady Dick hitting threes. You need to go find him again and actively look for him. Norma's here. Good to see Norma. A great Raptor freak. We see her drop in every once in a while. We appreciate you, Norma. And I'm glad to see your name in the chat again. Pascal had the highest plus minus at 18. Yeah, that was awesome. He really was the guy who carried us. He was a leader in energy and vibes and in scoring and doing things on the court. Plus 18 for him, plus 14 for Chris, plus 12 for Malachi. Our three top pluses. Chris, Malachi, and Siakam, number one at plus 18. That was awesome. David's saying, Shaq, go watch the last 3.5 of the first quarter and tell me how many plays Grady impacted while accumulating those stats. Sounds like David is becoming a Grady stan, and I love it. You stand up for Grady against criticism. I agree. And you're right, David. That stretch of the game, he was really high energy when not a lot of people had energy on the court. Like most of the Raptors were duds. The starters did not come out right. They were flat as hell. Well, some of those energy guys came in into the game, like Chris and Grady, and they kind of pumped us up. Malachi also. So yeah, I'm with David on this. Shaq Lindsay, you're very, very critical of this today. Let's just hold it back. I mean, I don't mind you pointing out some of the things and we can talk about it, but in some ways, there's no reason to go after Grady, Otto, or Precious. Let's just put it that way. Blackhawk saying this game worked out better for Chris. However, Darko has to keep a strong eye on Chris, Precious, and Malachi. Darko has to be able to nurture their development and loosen up on Pascal. Yeah, I mean, they're going to be hot and cold. Some days they're going to be okay to play and they're going to be great. And some days they're going to suck. They're going to absolutely suck. And in some ways, we don't want them all to suck on the same day. It'd be great if like they picked and choose opposite days. Like Malachi, you're going to suck today. And so are you, Chris. But Jalen and Grady, you guys are going to be fantastic today. You know, shit like that. Can they mix and match? Some of them will suck some days. And then it'll be easy for Darko to say, okay, yeah, you're not playing in the second half. But I'm going with these guys for the second half. That's kind of how he does it. He tests the water with these guys and sees how they're doing. If Jalen McDaniel shits the bed right away, okay, you're not getting to play in the second half. And that's just how it is. Chris will get your minutes or Grady, you know, something like that. I mean, I get this. And he really does have to pay close attention to our second unit and the quality of play they're putting on the court because they can really hurt us immediately if they're not playing up to the right level. Nameless is saying Grady has way more ability to impact a game than Jordan Hawkins, especially when neither of their shots are dropping. This is interesting because this is in some ways this is shots fired on me, Nameless. I get it. Around draft time, I was huge on Jordan Hawkins, and I had advised the Raptors to select Jordan Hawkins with the 13th pick, but they picked Grady. And I was a little disappointed at that time because I was not high on Grady Dick when I did my scouting. I did not think he would be a good NBA player, but I'm being proven wrong. And I love being proven wrong in this instance. And, I think you're right. I haven't watched Jordan Hawkins at all. So I have to preface it with this. I did see that he had a huge monster game already this season of 30 points already. But I don't know what he's doing right now, so I can't say for sure. But I'm seeing intangibles and other stuff other than just a great 3-point shooting from Grady that may make me say, all right, well, I have to go watch Jordan first before I can say you're absolutely right. But in some ways, I can see where you're going with this. And if Jordan Hawkins is just being utilized as a scorer, then you're right. You're right. You are right. Shaq Lindsay's giving Chris some stars. I like that. Let's see. G saying Grady is 6'8" and 19. He will probably grow and has a high IQ. Think 2 years from now. I love that Darko said this is our future. It really is. Like Grady and Scotty are a pair that are going to be a part of our future long term, I hope, for a long, long time. And their partnership and getting to know each other more and more and playing very well together is really smart. So, it's just a smart thing. If he can just be this dead eye shooter, if he can be this guy, some Raptors fans are saying right now, we need to make a third trade with the Spurs this season, and we need to get McDermott. And I'm not against that idea. That's a very interesting pickup for our what we need right now around our team. We went and got Doug McDermott. So, like, if Grady becomes more like Doug McDermott over time, and he's just hitting major 3-pointers all the time, this will be awesome. And you're right, he could get taller. He could get taller, G. Seymour saying, I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. All right. I don't see nothing with W at the end of the time. See, I don't know that song's tune. I wish I did. I would sing it for you, but I don't even remember the artist, Bump and Grind. I'm trying to remember. Shaq Lindsay saying Chris's defense and his cutting on offense made the difference. Yeah, the blocks were huge. And the transition finishing, like in some ways, we could screw up those layups if we give it to somebody else. Chris is such a good finisher in transition. He's just a loopy flying circus that just flies on in there, and he's going to make it. He's going to make sure that ball goes through the hoop. And that's awesome. That's awesome. Grady may end up 6'10" or plus. Yeah, I could see that. Nameless is saying Jordan who? Can't see him down there. He's on New Orleans. I don't know what he's doing. I should probably check in on him and Jonas. Zion being real stupid, talking about the Pelicans. I don't like Zion Williamson. And I'm going to tell you why right now. He's having trouble buying in right now. What? You're having trouble buying in with the Pelicans? I get it. Y'all are losing and you're not doing so great. Like you're having a little bit of a hard time. But you listen, dude. No, Zion. Listen, you've been sitting around for most of the last couple years. You should be bought in just in the fact that you want to go out there and prove that you can play in this league and stay healthy. So why do you need buying in with the coach and the team? You should have your own personal goals. That's a huge red flag to me that this guy's a loser and that this guy doesn't really have a very good understanding of what should matter to him. That his language right now is, I'm having trouble buying into this team. Or you trying to say you want to leave is what you're saying. What a horrible guy. Like, you've been hurt. You've been out of shape and not taking care of yourself, and you're acting like this. Yeah, Williamson is going on my list as somebody I would never want on this team. And part of the reason why is because he's a knucklehead. I can tell. It's not up to you buying in. You need to just buy in because you have not played very much the last couple of years. If you can't buy into playing because you've been hurt and you have something to prove, then you obviously have a huge red flag. And I don't want you anywhere near the Raptors ever in the future. Because, yeah, Zion Williams is an idiot. Let's just put it that way. Holy crap, he's an idiot. Kareem saying, you know what I love? Everybody stayed. Nobody left Scotiabank. Toronto's fan base has and continues to have faith, and it showed last night. The win was hard, but nonetheless, we got the W. I love that, too. And they were saying that NBA fans going on NBA.com and looking at our highlights from last night, they see how the game went and how we got blown out. And they're like, holy crap, the crowd stayed. And they were still lit at the end of the game after that debacle through most of the game. We were getting respect from NBA general fan down south of the border about how the Scotiabank Arena crowds hung there and showed support and stayed, and they were super loud at the end of the game. The defense chants were awesome. The energy was awesome at the end of the game. And once again, I'll thank every single one of y'all that stayed through the whole game and stayed in that building and helped cheer them on at the end. You guys were a huge part of it, and you really, really did help out. Sometimes our fans really make me proud. And last night was one of them, Kareem. Last night was one of them. Blackhawks saying Grady is fine. As a rookie, he keeps mixing it up, and that is good in my book. He's on a learning journey. He's got to learn the league. He's got to learn the personnels. He's got to have certain NBA moments as a rookie and learn. And he's doing fine. In fact, some of the rookie mistakes are there, but in some ways, he's making more high IQ, veteran kind of smart, right plays also. Otherwise, too, he's a really smart player. And you know what? He has a gumption to go and get it, and that is something you can't teach. Somebody who has the will and the desire and the hustle. He's a little hustle guy. Like he is very much like Yuta in the way that he's going to have to work hard because in some ways he's not destined for certain things in the league if he doesn't. That's the why Watanabe stays in this league is because he busts his ass and he runs all over the place. Well, Grady in some ways is the same way. He's going to have to bust his ass a lot in this league if he's going to stick around and have a good career. So yeah, I think Grady's fine too. I think that any kind of like criticism of some of the bench guys is not warranted today. I think the criticism should be on the starters more, to be honest. Let's see. Most saying locker room happiness was golden. Yeah, I love seeing these guys happy. Carlos here. Good to see Carlo JS. Good morning, Raptorfreak family. Back to 500, baby. Yeah, let's go over 500. We got our Wednesday win streak going. W's are for Wednesday. We've won first 3 games on Wednesday. Our 4th game on Wednesday is Milwaukee once again. We've beaten Milwaukee on a Wednesday in Toronto already. Let's do it again. We can duplicate this again. Of course, they're going to want get back, and they don't want it to happen again. But in some ways, the Milwaukee Bucks, out of all the top Eastern teams, is having the hardest time finding themselves. So in some ways, this may be very lucky that we get to play the Bucks early in the season at home twice like this. Maybe we're going to catch them off guard again and capitalize on it and get a second victory against the Bucks on Wednesday night. I know we're going to that game. We're going to get loud, Raptor Freak family. And so, yeah, this is going to be fun. Let's see if we can keep that W streak alive on W Wednesday. That's what it's all about this year. W's on Wednesday. That's right. G saying Siakam was happy for Boucher getting the chain. That's what he wanted too. Yeah, there's no animosity on that. He don't care about getting that chain. He got that chain before. He knows he could have gotten that chain. It's not like 39 points isn't something that just like go around and people are talking about him today all over the place. Talking about what Siakam did last night. The NBA is giving him shine. They're talking about what he did. So it's like he doesn't need a chain. That chain thing's a team award. And the coach wanted to recognize the effort of Chris Boucher. There's nothing wrong with that. And why do these people, it's like, oh, it's the leading scorer should just get the chain. No, there's other things you got to factor in. He was going to give the chain to his assistant coach the last game instead of OG because it challenges. So his criteria for giving his chain that he decides who gets it is his own. And none of y'all idiots out there in Raptors Nation going to tell Darko who he's going to give his chain to. That's right. He gives his chain to who he wants to give his chain to. You stop trying to tell him to give his chain to whoever you want him to. That's right. Let's see. Cool Cat saying Bilal Coulibaly is a complete player. First year rookie. Looks great. Young OG. There's a lot of parallels to him and OG. A lot of parallels. And yeah, his offense is way better than I thought it would be already, Cool Cat. I knew he'd be good with his long wingspan and some of the stuff he does, but it's amazing, honestly, because in some ways his journey this year has been weird. He's like the second banana to Victor over in France, and he kind of gets some shine because of it, but in some ways he could have easily overshadowed him and he would never made it to league. But Victor put his name out there and he said, my guy is good. You got him. And then all of a sudden, Bilal shot up in the draft charts and became a lottery pick. And in some ways, I was like, wow. And it's like, well, actually, it's very warranted. The kid is a stud. He's absolutely got great athletic things about him that are going to make him a very good NBA player. And those long-ass arms that were getting blocks last night are one of them. He got a goaltending call on one of them, but a couple of them he didn't. Yeah, Coulibaly is awesome. I'd love to see him in a Raptors jersey. Oh, yeah, I would down the road. Oh, I'd love to see him in a Raptors jersey. That's right. Chris is saying the team can't shoot well, and Dick is the one who's natural. Okay. The big team needs him more than 905. Well, I don't understand why he can't do double duty. He can play last night. He didn't play a whole huge amount of minutes. Can he go to 905 and play today? And he still comes back and he plays against Milwaukee. They're all in town. It's not like he has to leave town. He played in Toronto last night, playing Mississauga tonight, playing Toronto tomorrow night. Delano did that in his rookie year, so I had no problem with him. I would love to see y'all send Grady to Mississauga tonight, just for fun, just for one game. They probably won't. But if I was doing it, I would do that. I'd be like, get him as many reps as possible every night. Work that young man harder. Get him out there playing. And I say send him to Mississauga tonight to play against the College Park Skyhawks. I say send him, Masai. What are you doing wasting your development system? This is an opportunity right here. Send Grady to 905 and let him kill that league. Let him get a win for Eric Curry. Let him help that young coach like fix his career. Give him somebody you can use down there, Grady Dick. That's what I'm saying. You can send him there tonight. He can still play in Milwaukee tomorrow. That's what I'm saying. Shaq Lindsay saying there's no excuse for Precious missing open layups. I saw that maybe once, but he's not like he's the only one who was missing layups. These guys all miss layups from time to time. Once again, Precious is in his second game back after being out for 2 weeks. He's getting the rhythm. And the fact that he stat stuffed and actually shot 5 for 8. He shot 5 for 8 last night, Shaq Lindsay. He didn't shoot bad. He only missed 3 shots. He was 5 for 8. That's good. That's good shooting. And he honestly, the criticism of him, I'm watching you. In some ways, you're the negative guy today. And I don't like this, Shaq Lindsay. Don't be the negative guy because I start targeting you. Watch. And I'll be like, you're not being positive. And in some ways, I'm going to watch you. I love you, Shaq Lindsay, but seriously, there's no reason to be so negative, especially against Precious. He was fine. He made mistakes in the first half, sure, but he was really a good part of what happened in the second half, too. David's saying, exactly. That's the point of the chain. Encouraging players and building team chemistry. At the end of the day, these boys ain't playing for a chain. We want chips, baby. Yeah, well, the chain is a good, like, carrot on an individual basis in games, and it's a nice recognition thing. It's recognizing. I'm glad and I'm proud of what you did. Here you go. You get the chain for the night. There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's a good system, and I'm glad they're doing it. They only do it for wins. Nobody can get in the chain on losses. And David, you better wear your chain on Friday because it's a gold game, and you got that gold chain. So you better wear that Raptorsfreak Trivia Champion chain that I gave you this summer. It's perfect thing to wear to this game on Friday, the golden chain. That's right. David's got a chain for being a champion. That's right. Fiercely saying Pascal gave props to Boucher at the presser, really acknowledged his efforts and applauded his professionalism. That's right. That's right. Boucher's doing it right. It may have been dubious at what's going on with him and where he is in the rotation, but he has more trust in Darko today than ever now at this point. I'll bet you he does. Tristan saying post-game raps were mentioning not playing down to other teams' level, and Darko was saying we really have to learn to play up to our standard from the start. I think this season we will see improvement. It's a work in progress. Sometimes it was coming back from the road trip and being back at home and slicing your finger and being a little lackadaisical. You slept in your own bed. You saw your family. Maybe you're tired out because you're so happy you're back, but also you're tired from the trip. And you came back the first game back, and you're a little bit like not woken up for the beginning of the game against Washington last night at 7:30. It's a little bit of that kind of stuff. They need to be more ready and tuned in and ready right at the start of the game. They can't have an imperfect game against top teams in this league. They will lose. So, yeah, these are some of the lessons. Don't play down to the competition. Play up to your highest standard always and beat the hell out of them. That's what it is. Yeah, Tristan, I like that. KSM staying here. What's up, KSM? For Pascal to close, we need to recognize the hot hand, make an effort to provide some spacing. 4 guys go to the other side. Let him work in peace. Cutters read the defense and be prepared to cut. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind. That's a little bit of like last year. And that's what we were saying earlier, that a hybrid of like his quick offense with a lot of passing with sometimes when they need to go to a dominant Pascal because he's got that matchup and it's just too good not to go to that well and take advantage of it. Then maybe we do look like last year a little bit in what KSM's describing here. Yeah, I have no problem with that. I mean, like Cool Cat said, we want them keep them guessing. We don't want to be predictable. And in some ways, like, oh yeah, we're not doing anything we did last year. Okay, yeah. Oh, you're not doing anything we did last year. Oh wait, you are. Wait, what? They're doing something they did last year. All of a sudden, okay, all right, I see what's up. Shaq Lindsay saying Flynn's play was underrated, especially when Dennis didn't play well. Yeah, that was the weird thing. We were in a weird place because Dennis, our steady starting point guard, was not good in the first half. He didn't really play good the whole game. And then Malachi had to be kind of like steady for us because of that. And that he really did do that. And it didn't really, you can't see it in the box score. You can't see it in the box score. Let's see. Tristan saying regarding our effort level and consistent throughout consistency. Yeah, they need to be more consistent in the first half last night. The second half was better, but it still wasn't perfect either. There's a lot of room for improvement with the Raptors. And the better they play, the more perfect they play over the season, the better they'll be and the more competitive they'll be and the higher they will get in the standings and who they can beat. Who they can beat. All right, let's see. Cowboys saying you can't have a chain gang if you only give it to 2 or 3 players. Let's go, Boucher. That's right. You can't have a chain gang. That's the sound of the man working on the chain gang. Oh, chain gang. Yeah, that's not a good thing. Chain gang. That's like some cool hand Luke stuff there, Cowboy. Now let's see. Mugarbe saying, "Good morning, Raptor freaks. Lex, 0.5 offense doesn't work with this team with all them bricklayers." And Darko found out you can't have Pascal in the corner. Well, we'll have to see. I'm not gonna say it won't work, but we need better shooting. We need better consistent shooters, and some of these guys are out. 2 of our best shooters were out last night, Gary and OG, and that hurts things. And then they didn't even go to Grady. I'm not gonna say it doesn't work with this team. I just think that they need more time to fix it and figure it out. And we'll see more over time how the offense morphs and hopefully is more successful. However, they figure out the hybrid of what it should be. So I'm not ready to just throw out the 0.5 philosophy 10 games into the season. I feel like it's still a really interesting idea and there's a lot of merits to it. But in some ways, it is true. We got to come back to the past and use some of the really good stuff we had last year, too. Yeah. Cool Cat saying, Lex, one issue with Grady is many times open 3 shots and he does not take it. He drives and passes out again after Pascal and Scotty have already broken down the defensive clock run out. Rookie will learn. Yeah, you know what? This is an interesting thing that I noticed from when he was in Kansas, that he's more likely to fake the 3 and drive than actually take the 3. He was that way as a Jayhawk. And in some ways, it works really well in college because it allows him to get higher percentage shots closer and he can beat his man. But it doesn't work as well at the NBA because the talent's so much stronger, bigger, and faster. So, Grady, you might have to break that habit you have from college of faking the 3 and either passing it or going around. I want you to just take that 3. You need to be like aggressive there because that's what our team needs the most. We don't need you to dribble fake and try and go around and do a midi. We don't need you to try and fake and pass it. In fact, I have a premium on you to put that ball up yourself. And in some ways, that's what we want. We want you to catch and shoot and do it right away. Don't second guess. Well, you want to pass it. If you got daylight and you can get that shot off and your defender's enough away from you, take that shot and don't move the ball around to the next person. That seriously, I'm with you on this, Cool Cat. And I noticed this last year. Like I noticed this when I scouted him for the draft, is that he has a proclivity to not want to. He'll fake the shot and drive. He does that more often than actually taking the shot sometimes. And that seems like what he's been doing with us. And I'm agree with you. I want to say take the shot. Don't fucking even think about passing or even driving because driving is not going to help you anything. Once you go inside, you're not going to be able to do anything like you could at Kansas. The defense is going to be too good near the basket, and you're not going to be able to do a loopy athletic shot around some of these other guys, these guys in the league. So take that outside shot, Grady, please. Unleash the selfish, Nameless is saying. Let's see. No, let's not unleash the selfish. No. G saying Darko will balance ISO, Siakam, bulky Barnes, and 0.5 offense. It's true. This team cannot be only offense to a 0.5 offense, and I think that's better and will be less predictable. Yeah, and we're kind of coming to a consensus here, Cool Cat, G, and I, on the hybrid of our offense possibly going forward. Carlos saying Tyus Jones should be a Raptor. He looks like Fred to me in a little bit of way. It's like I called him like Fred VanVleet from Wish. He's like Fred VanVleet Wish. He was a very important player for them last night. Him and his brother are interesting. They're I guess the other one's in Memphis, or is he on San Antonio or something like that? It's like Trey Jones, right? Yeah, they're interesting. They're like little Freds. They're very Fred-esque, both of them. Name was saying Flynn's defense is turning elite. Yeah, that's one thing about Malachi that's keeping him on the floor, even if he's not hitting shots or doing well, is his defense has been exemplary this year. Exemplary, really, really good. And I'm proud of him for it. KSM saying subbing out Siakam after a 22-point quarter is also indicative of not noticing what cut the lead down. I hope we do better at that. That possibly cooled them off. What great performance and team win nonetheless. Well, Siakam played the whole third quarter, and he had to sit. He cooked in the third quarter with those 18 points. He had 18 in that quarter, and he got the other 4 later. But he had to sit him at some point because he wanted to go on the stretch run with him. So there's going to be a period near the end of the third quarter and the beginning of the fourth where Siakam was just going to have to sit if he's going to play like the whole last 6 or 7 minutes of the game in the fourth quarter. So that's just giving him blow to just rest. And in some ways, Cool Cat, as she said earlier, Nick would have played him straight through that, and he wouldn't have the legs to hit the shots at the end of the game that mattered. So I have no problem with him subbing him out when he did. I knew when he took Siakam out at that point, I noted it, and I was like, well, he's cooking, but he has to, as far as time management, to give him one more rest for the stretch run to carry us home then. Like Nick may have played him the whole second half in a game last year, like last night, and that would have been stupid. That would have made me so mad. So I'm okay with him subbing Siakam out around the beginning of the fourth quarter because he needed him for the stretch run. And he got a good meat of him for the whole third quarter and carrying us. And then he got a rest enough so that he could be very effective in the final minutes of the game, doing the right things. So I'm okay with what he did. I really like what's, there's been a couple of times where I've been questioning what Darko has done with rotations and substitutions, but very little. It's very little. And there's more often I'm saying that was very smart. He having the pairing of Malachi and Dennis was really smart last night. The way he played Chris was really smart last night. The way he rotated Siakam out was smart. The way he went away from Pirtle was smart. The way he went away from Porter was smart. So there's way more successes and smart decision-making, managerial stuff with the rotations with Darko than I'm seeing mistakes. Last year, I saw mistakes all the time with Nick. I was just like, why are you doing that? What are you doing putting the whole bench all by themselves? Why are you playing the hell out of Fred and Siakam so they'll be so tired so they suck at the end of the game? I don't have that many gripes about what the rotation for Darko is so far. But last year, I had a gripe after every game, pretty much. I was going off on Nick. You could watch the reactions from last year, and you can see how much I was critical of Nick Nurse and his rotations and the way he was making decisions on how he subbed people. So I am very happy with what Darko's doing so far this year. Very, very happy. G saying, haha, nameless, let them be selfish when needed. Yeah, I don't even know what y'all talking about. No selfishness this year. Didn't you hear Masai? There will be no selfishness on this team this year. None whatsoever. Tristan saying he played the whole third quarter. He needed rest. That's right. See, he's answering what I said just now. What was I going to say? I'm trying to remember. There will be no selfishness when needed. Yeah, I worry about selfishness around this team. I really do. I don't want these guys to start thinking about their own careers and worried about this or that. They need to really be putting sacrifice in for the team and what they need. I'm worried about Dennis right now because I'm a little bit worried that he's been told by the team not to do his YouTube. He hasn't done any YouTube for 2 weeks. And normally he would have filmed a whole lot of stuff with the team trip and like different things. Even Ellen hasn't put any clips out. Like their YouTube channels have just stopped all of a sudden. And I'm wondering if the Raptors organization asked him not to do it for right now. And maybe that's part of the reason why Dennis is a little in his head or not playing as well the last 2 games. Is in some ways he needs his YouTube to be out there and doing his creative business pursuits. And maybe he's having a little on the. I'm speculating here. He may come out with a video today and it'll make everything all right. But there's a weird void of him not putting videos out for the last 2 weeks. And I'm wondering if there's something going on with that. Because I know in some of their videos, they're doing stuff like telling their schedule and talking about where they are. And in some ways, that's not good for security purposes. And it may be that the Raptors organization talked to them about their YouTube empire and kind of said, chill out on this and this, because we want y'all to be safe, first of all. But also we want to keep some things proprietary about our organization and how we do things. Like y'all brought Joel and Alex into the OVO Center, and y'all filmed a whole bunch of stuff about our facility. And some of this stuff, we don't mind people seeing, but some of this stuff we don't want people seeing. That kind of thing. I don't know. He may be having to walk a line with his content with the Raptors in a different way than, say, with the Lakers. So I don't know. I'm just wondering. I'm speculating. Why is there no Dennis Schroeder YouTube content in the last 2 weeks? Is it because the Raptors told him to chill out and maybe not divulge so much about the inner workings of what we're doing with our team? Could be. That's speculation. But if he comes out with one today, I'll be like, okay, no, it's not that. It's fine. But I want to see an Ellen clip or a Dennis clip soon, because we love them and we love seeing what's going on behind the scenes. So, all right, let's see. Name was saying Flynn played that whole fourth quarter nearly for the entire comeback. He hit some crucial shots again too. Yeah, I'll give Flynn credit for a nice three at one point for sure, and setting guys up too. Carlos saying, well, you need to rest Siakam. He played the whole third. There you go. There's the answer for KSM right there. We're all answering KSM. David saying, I was cheering so hard when Siakam started taking over. Sometimes that is what your team needs. That's right. That's right. I'm just glad he was showing up and being the big boy and saying, I'm gonna win this game for us. Seriously, we've needed this from him so bad. In some ways, he was very active. He was not being passive. He put his imprint on the game. As the coach said at halftime, James Wade, he said, we told the guys, we want y'all to write your own narrative. Write the narrative of this game. You can make this story what you want. Y'all are going to get crushed and you're losers and you lost to one of the worst teams in this league in a very humiliating way in a blowout. You can have that narrative you want, Raptors. We'll tell you that right now. You can have that narrative. I don't think y'all are going to win. You can have the narrative of being losers and losing to the Wizards tonight if you want. Or you can write your own narrative, Pascal Siakam. And that's what he did last night. Yeah, he did. He wrote his own narrative. And I love that. James Wade, thank you for saying that too. I'll say that, yeah. Let's see. G saying, I'm so happy for Pascal making that clutch shot. Once it falls, I think it will get easier to make that more consistent. Yeah, you build confidence. That's part of the learning. In some ways, if you fail over and over again, some people give up and say, I can't do it anymore. I'm just not good at it. Well, Siakam, give him some credit. He's failed many times, but he's still continuing to try and be that guy. And I love you for it, Siakam. You're going to get more successful at it, just like DeMar did, just like Kyle did. These guys weren't successful in the early parts either. And as over time, you get more experience, you get better, you understand better what it takes, you will make it at the ends meet, and you will make it happen. And that's part of what happened last night. That's right. Let's see. Tristan saying, I felt a mini flashback of Kawhi with Pascal's shot bouncing on the rim. I felt, yeah, it was not a totally clean shot. But the thing about it, once again, and this is something with Scotty too, that's very present. Siakam, in some ways, doesn't fundamentally shoot the ball right a couple years ago. But he's worked with Rico. He's worked with different coaches. And if you put the right English on it and it has the right flip to it, it will do the 4 bounce like Kawhi against Philadelphia. It's really about fundamentals and spin and the way you shoot the ball. It'll cater to making it a high percentage. And in some ways, that shot was like that. It was short. It just caught the front of the rim and it kind of flipped up. And that's what I'm saying. It's like it was short. It hit the front of the rim on the top and it kind of bounced up. It hit the side and then it went in. And that is impressive. That's good fundamentals. Scotty has this too. It's really part of the spin off of the very large claw hands of Leonard and Barnes. With coming off the hand, it can be like weird English. Like that one play he made late off the inbounds where Kuzma wasn't paying attention. Or they can't try to come in. That was some English. They kind of flipped around and then it went right into the basket too. So that stuff is awesome. The fundamentals of your spin and how you touch the ball and how the ball comes off your hand can very much help your shot percentage. It's just like in a video game golf game where you put certain spin on your golf shots, you can get trick shots going into the putter, putting it in the hole. It's the same thing in basketball. You can get that English. You can do that billiard shit, just like with a cue ball and the 8 ball. Just get that English. And boom, you can do some amazing shit. Just ask Kawhi Leonard, Scotty Barnes, the guys with giant hands that know how to do it. That's right. Yeah, that was awesome. It was a little bit like the Kawhi shot, a little bit like it. I was like, oh, but it wasn't so such a long period. Like the Kawhi shot was like, this one was like, yeah. All right, let's see. Cowboys saying, who else was standing up in front of their TV last night? Kind of. I did kind of stand for the last part. I did, yeah. Mugarbe is saying, Lex, I know you told me not to listen to toxic fans, but I could not help but go listen to Robert on YouTube. He is very upset that we won, and he trashed Pascal. Yes, the tears of that idiot are so awesome, especially when we win. How can you be a fan of our team if you're so upset last night? Oh, my gosh. That says enough. Mugarbe, thanks for the report. And yeah, what an idiot. I'm glad he's miserable and we won. That should tell Raptors fans, real Raptors fans, all they need to know about Penn-State basketball. That they won this game. I get it. You can be critical about it. We're being critical about it. You can talk about it. But he's being upset at the success of Siakam. You're an idiot, Robert. And you just out yourself over and over again as not a true Raptors fan, as a Scotty Barnes Tiger Beat Kids Club fan, and that's who you are. You're not actually a Raptors fan. You're just a little teeny bopper that follows Scotty Barnes like he's Scotty Baio. That's what you are, motherfucker. Especially you can't respect or understand what Siakam did last night, and you're bashing him. You're an idiot. You just out yourself over and over again to real Raptors fans where you really are and who you really are. That's right. Nameless saying, I can see what Scotty is alluding to about Flynn being a firearm. Well, he's a good shooter. It's just we need his confidence. We need him to get more like getting there. He's getting there, though. He's having better strides this year than in past years. I really do feel like there is a Darko effect going on with Malachi, and there may be some sort of jump or leap in his game of confidence. And I really think it's going to be an offensive thing. I think at some point this year, he's going to be unleashed offensively, and he's just going to have such a great shooting, 3-point shooting night where he's going to get like 20 to 30 points, just like in the Tampa year. And we're going to all remember just how good a shooter he can be when he's hot. I can see this coming up. I can see this. Cowboys saying Raptors, Toronto Raptors 2024 NBA champions. Let's go. Not the way we played last night. It won't happen, but yeah, we'll have to see. Nameless is saying Flynn hits threes sometimes that don't even move the mesh. Yeah, he's a real one. He's got like the skills. It's just they haven't translated totally to results on the court yet. Cool Cat saying two things I really like. Pascal went up to Scotty to try and get him going. When Scotty went down in pain, you saw the gentle touching of Pascal. He said that he sees Scotty as a little brother. There you go. I love that. And these guys do really need to be close and really respect and love each other because they're a partnership. They'll get further together. I'm glad they don't look at each other as competition like fucking idiot does on his channel, because honestly, they're not. They're going to help each other more than they're going to hurt each other. And they need each other. Scotty's got to understand he needs his best of players around him. And if he pushes all the good players away from him on the Raptors, he won't be able to win. So you need to want to keep those best possible players around him. And I think Scotty's smart enough to know this. You know, he's smart enough to know he doesn't want to push away the other good players on his team because he wants more for himself. No, he can grow with them, next to them. And everything's going to be fine. There's abundance in this. You need an abundance mindset instead of a scarcity mindset. And a lot of Raptors fans come from scarcity mindset, like Robert Pensair. And that's what I'm saying. I come from abundance mindset. There's more than enough for everybody, and they can all get it. So why do anybody need to leave is what I'm saying. That's right. Thank you, Race Mode Daily, for up into the purple level, back as a member of this channel. Race Mode Daily, thank you for joining as a member of the channel. Once again, renewing. Stargate saying, good morning, Raptorfreak family. Good comeback win, albeit against the Wizards. But I think this game now sheds the light on Darko and the coaching staff. The 0.5 offense needs to be tweaked a bit. Yeah, we talked about this a couple times already today. A hybrid of sorts should be possibly going forward. Carlos saying, last night's win was huge. We usually lose games like this under Nick. Experience in how to win by all means necessary is needed by most of the bench unit. Hell, even Siakam needed this. Now, I won't totally agree with you. We've done these wins with Nick too. And in some ways, I'm just glad that we've kept this with Darko coming in. That's kind of the stuff we want to test. How is our mettle of pride? Do we have pride enough to not be embarrassed in the way that we possibly could have been last night? You know, that's kind of what I'm looking for. In some ways, I'm worried that in some ways these guys won't react in a way for Darko like they might have for Nick in the past, but they did. And thank God they did. Oh my gosh. Any win by any means necessary. That's right. Even cheating on an inbounds. I'm sure Wizards fans are going over that a bit this morning. Why didn't they listen to Kuzma? Why didn't they allow the challenge? That was obviously off of them. I'm sure there's a lot of that in Wizard spaces right now. Cowboys saying, I seen Idiot live last night. I hopped in, turned off the volume, and wrote the Raptorsfreak 9:30 a.m. live every day for real Raptors fans like 30 times. There you go, Cowboy. There you go. He went in there. He didn't listen to Robert. He didn't respond to him. He just spammed advertised us. You go, Cowboy. I'm giving you a dunk for that. That's in some ways the best way you can fight the good fight. Don't listen to him. Don't engage with him. Just give them the alternative. Just give them the alternative. And if anybody's come here today because Cowboy sent you that message last night on Idiot's live stream, welcome. And we welcome every positive Raptors fan that really loves this team and wants to see them win and isn't all about just like criticizing and running people out of town like Fred VanVleet. That's right. If you don't like that kind of action in your fandom, well, this is your channel, Positive Raptors channel. That's what we're talking about right here. All right. I love that, Cowboy. I love you so much for that. I really hope you're coming on Thursday. I really want to see you, Bradley, Thursday at the Real Jerk. If you can get down there, man. I really, really want to see it. Let's grow. Let's grow. All right. Wayne's saying the coach's willingness to play the players who are effective during a particular game is reassuring. Not being glued to a particular cohort of players despite individual outcomes will win us games. Yes. Yes. That's more like a Grizzlies kind of thing from last year. You know, there were opportunities for people like David Roddy to come and be big time at the end of games for the Grizzlies. In some ways, I like that. In some ways, this was not Nick. Nick never allowed for people that were outside in his doghouse to come in and do stuff like this. So I'm glad Wayne's noticing this, just like me, that Darko is allowing for variance in patterns of rotations and who may be hot or cold on any given night is helping him decide on who's getting minutes late in the game. And that's smart. That's just smart coaching. You go with the guys who are working in the game, and you don't just like be stubborn and say, well, I'm going to go with my absolute best starting 5 guys for sure at the end of the game. No, if one of them's not playing well, sit down and put one of the bench guys that is playing well and reward them. And plus, if you have a system like that, guys will try and achieve harder because they know there's a path. If you are successful to get more time and get to play, you can be successful and you get sat still by Nick Nurse in past years. And that's what I'm saying. You need to give a path for excellence from the bench so that they can excel and exceed expectations. If there's no path, then what the fuck are they even trying for? And that's how I felt with our bench for the last couple of years. This year, there's a path. And Darko's allowing these guys to have things to go for, goals to go for. And I like that. Edmund's here. Good to see Race Mode Daily. Good morning, freaks. I almost turned off the game for the rest of the season. There was a lot of selfish play in the first half. It was great to have Lex as the voice of reason. Yeah, it was selfish. There was a bit of that selfishness. And I was like, damn, this is like last year. It very much felt like last year in the first half. Thank God it changed. Holy crap. We can't have that going on for a whole season like last year. No, we can't. No selfishness. Masai, Darko, they're not having it. They ain't going to have none of that selfishness this year, guys. Country Kong saying, you guys really gave Malachi a hard time. I'm glad y'all came around. I can still remember when David and Tom and I took on the Doubting Mob. Those were the days. Listen, we just had our own preference. I wanted Jeffrey because I really like the guy. And in some ways, I didn't see the merits of Malachi, but I'm seeing him now. And yes, I can always admit when I'm wrong. But you know what? I think Doughton would have been great on our team still. But in some ways, I don't know why we keep alluding to this. I appreciate y'all standing up for Malachi at that time. And I'm glad you remember it was David and Tom who stood with you. It is what it is. And all right, David wants a dunk for Cowboy. All right, we'll give Cowboy a dunk. And let's see. Cowboy's saying, win or lose, I'm all here for Darko. He's still finding out what lineups he likes. By the time the playoffs come, watch out, NBA. There you go. That's a positive attitude, Cowboy. And David's saying at Country Kong, I was really hoping we could have kept them both. But I see the need for these bench vets we have. They're huge. Yeah. In some ways, they're Dennis, like I said, Dennis is too similar to Jeff. And in some ways, we didn't need Jeff once we got Dennis, is what it seems like in the end. Cowboy's saying, if clean up blood scenes before OG, yikes. I hope there wasn't any blood or splattering or any kind of weird shit because of OG's accident on Sunday night. That would be really bad. I don't want any gruesomeness for him. I really don't. All right. Wow. I got to start hightailing it if I'm going to get done in 3 hours because you guys really filled it up. Y'all felt like talking today, I guess. I like this. I guess so. There's a lot to talk about last night. All right. Where's OG? OG is where I'm at. Okay. Yikes. All right. Cool Cat saying OG needs to hire services for everything except playing basketball, sleep, eat food. Yeah. Get you a butler, bro. Get you a butler. Get a butler. Damn it, get a butler. Tristan saying at Wayne, honestly, laugh out loud. He sees something not working. He changes it. Yeah, I like the adjustments. I like the on the toes work of Rajakovic, and not just with personnel, but also in schemes. He's changing schemes up regardless of personnel just to try and make adjustments and make things work better. That's the thing about him. He's not stubborn to his preconceived notions of the game should be, like Casey might have been in the past, or even Nick, more stubborn about this is my system and this is what I'm going to do. No, he's very flexible and he will be spontaneous in the game according to what is specifying what he needs to do. And that's awesome. I want a coach light on his feet that's able to amend and change the things as he finds out and discovers as the game goes on. In some ways, sometimes these guys get caught on their idea of what they should be doing and to win the game, and they lose partly because of that. This is indicative in the game against San Antonio and last night that Darko is very flexible in this way, and I love it. I love it. I love it so much, Tristan and Wayne. I really do. Fiercely saying at Kareem, yeah, great plug for Tada's services. That's right. Get down there and butler for OG, please. Bradley, go be a butler for him. Get a nice little butler suit and just say, OG, I'm your butler now. It's just like the Seinfeld contest episode. You have to be a butler now for OG Anunoby. I'm sure you're upset. Yardy's here. Good to see Toronto. Yardy, a great YouTube channel. Check out Yardy. Give him a subscription and check out his content. He had a great reaction after the game. I watched your reaction after the game, Yardy. Good stuff breaking down what happened after the game. Quick reaction. I love it. Great day and great win for Toronto last night. I had a feeling they would come back after the third quarter down 10. I had that feeling too. I knew that they were kind of measuring the where they were in the time with how much time they had to try and get there to the end. And boy, did they just cut it close. But they made it, and they got it within there. It was maybe possibly going to be one of these games where they try and cut the deficit down. They get the deficit down to 6 points, and then all of a sudden the Wizards go on a run, and it's back to 14 again. We've seen that this season also. But no, they kept shrinking the deficit, and then they overwhelmed them and overcame them and won. And I'm so glad because they easily could have added a little bit more water on the other side. It was really crucial that they did not score all but 1 point in the last 7 minutes of the game. That was absolutely crucial for us to win. Absolutely. Cowboy saying, respect David. Hope Lex didn't do any stretching to block me. I'm not. Who blocked you yesterday? I'm okay. I'm all right now. Carlos saying, Flynn is coming around. Those defensive chops coming out. Yep. He's shown them over a couple of years now. It's just that he seems more confident in them in a way. Nameless saying, I'm not sure how you've given Achua a star over Chris, but whatever. I gave Chris a star too. My 5 stars are Siakam, Barnes, Boucher, Achua, and Dick. Those are my 5 stars of the game. So Chris got a star before Achua. Achua got the 4-star. Yeah, Mischief's here. Good to see Mischief. Great Raptorsfreak. My dad always told me a win is a win, no matter how ugly it is. There you go, Mischief. That's right. Greg is here. The Gubstown Clink is checking in with us. Y'all check out Gubstown Clink. Always having awesome, high quality Raptors content coming out. He's always got great theories, the red sauce stuff, the long arm monster, so much stuff, vernacular coming from Greg all the time from his channel. I highly recommend Greg's awesome channel. Hopefully he'll put something out again soon. Let's see what he's saying. Morning, freaks. I got Lex on in the kitchen as usual today, but wanted to say a win is a win. And this was a win the players and coaches can learn from. We need those. This is a better feeling. Like, honestly, having the win is better. Losing to the Wizards last night could have been disastrous for our season. And yeah, I appreciate you listening to me, Greg. And I'm figuring we're going to see you later this week also. You'll be around when Tom's here in town. And hopefully maybe you can come on Thursday to the Real Jerk. We're having the hangout on that day. It's going to be a lot of fun, just goofy time. So, Greg, if you're available Thursday night, Real Jerk, Carlaw, and Gerard, around 7 p.m. A bunch of us will be down there. It's a karaoke night, apparently, too. So hopefully we can sing some karaoke. Cowboy's saying he doesn't need one. Nameless, he's got a chain. That's right. David's got the chain, bro. And Evelyn, too. Evelyn's got the red one. David's saying, I'm pretty sure he gave Chris a star. How could you not? I did give him a star. Let's see. Gubstown in the house. That's right, Greg. It's good to see Greg return. Cowboy's saying, wouldn't last too long in the Final Destination movies. OG? Man, don't even say stuff like that. Cool Cat saying, I love Darko's F-bombs. Open gym contact bleeping is hilarious to me. Some slip through. Yeah, it is funny when he drops the F-bomb in the dressing room after a good win. It's awesome. I love Darko. He's just a good guy. You can tell he's a personable guy. And like if you talk to him in real life, he would be exactly what he looks like and what he does everywhere. He wouldn't have any airs to him. He'd be just the same dude. Greg saying OG should hire me to cut his food for him. We need him on the court. That's right. Yeah, maybe Greg should be your personal chef. Seriously, OG, if you do somehow, some way watch the stream or have people watching the stream, Greg is a great chef. He can cook you all kinds of good, healthy food and keep you in the best shape. And plus your hands in better shape. So you're not chopping any onions or peppers or whatever we're cutting when you cut your hand. We can get somebody in there to do that for you. We'd like to have you on the court instead. Yeah, Duke Rocks is saying, laugh my ass off. Get your head out of your asses was the exact phrase I was thinking. There you go. About the team and the way they were playing. Yeah, I was that way too, Jay. I was like, get your head out of your asses and start playing. I was totally that way, Duke Rocks. Name is saying, Kia Nurse is the only love for me. All right, now that we've got all our crushes out in the open, there you go. The women of the Raptors media, yeah, some of them are heartthrobs, and there's thirst traps, is what we'll call them. Thirst traps. Cowboys saying, let's go, Gubstown. That's right. It's always good to see Greg pop in and say hi. Tom saying, chef's kiss approved. Mwah! Boing! Mischief is saying, I'm probably your only subscriber that amputated their finger and survived it, but lost my bone. Well, this is an interesting story. Really? I don't know. We have a lot of subscribers with different weird backgrounds, but did you amputate your finger last night in a show of solidarity for Mr. Ananobi? You didn't have to do that, though. That's some mischief indeed. Country Kong saying Grady damn near needs to start at this point. He couldn't be further from the 905 when it comes to the needs of this team. If Grady plays for the 905, it needs to be once in a while and on and off day. Well, like today, he could go down there today and get those reps. He could be there today. Do it. I dare you, Raptors organization. Let Grady Dick play for the Mississauga 905 Raptors tonight. Send him to Paramount and let him play tonight. Do it. Just do it. Please. If you're worried about him getting hurt or some bullshit, okay, I understand. Whatever your reasoning is, let us know why. Because sometimes I just feel like you're missing out on good development opportunities when you don't do this. There's no reason why Grady can't go and play at Paramount tonight. Why would you not do this? Y'all are idiots. Get him as many reps as possible. Let him play. If Eric Curry's doing stupid shit, then don't let him go down there, I guess. But it doesn't make any sense to me. We have a development league for a reason. And this is a kid who's 19 who just showed up after 1 year of Kansas. 1 year of Bill Self. That's it. He doesn't have that much. He needs more time. And then you send him down there. That's right. David's saying at mischief. My father is also a finger amputee survivor, but he's not a subscriber. Fun fact from David there. All right, I'm going to mark this just for really weird, out of the blue fun fact from David there. Yeah, right. David, yeah, okay. That's awesome. Some people, people lose things, I guess. Tom's saying, wow, okay. David saying, I don't think people usually drop dead from losing a finger, but it's good to know there are other survivors out there. Yeah, I don't know if he actually lost a finger. I think he just sliced his hand. And it may be in a very awkward part of the hand where it's like it's really hurts to grab the ball. It could be that it's so new that it needs to just heal a couple days, and then it's fine. I think OG's going to be fine. Hopefully he can play against Milwaukee tomorrow. Let's see. Fiercely saying, is it safe to say the same way Kawhi inspired Pascal in terms of being locked in and having an intense work methodology, he now does it with Scotty? I hope so. He's a great role model for Scotty. And in some ways, we've seen Scotty's work ethic get way better this summer. And we see the results and his conditioning and his uptick in play. So, yeah, if he took anything from Siakam and he's doing more of it and he's seeing the results, yep, that's exactly this kind of thing. Kawhi showed the way before. Kyle, DeMar showed the way to people like OG and Pascal and Chris. Yeah, Scotty learns now. Grady also. Yeah, KSM's laughing at David. Chris is saying General Brock was the hero of that war, talking about the War of 1812. And Laura Secord, the chocolate lady. Yeah, she sent the chocolates, and they were poisoned to the Americans. She's like, here's some Canadian chocolates. Yeah, here you go. Have them. Oh, yeah, Laura Secord, you did it. Yeah. I made that up. I don't think that's true. Carlos saying it just goes to show they can adjust in game. Yeah, the coach can, and the players are listening, and they're doing it. And they got motivated. They may not have been motivated in the first half, but they got motivated at some point. And that's the other thing. I wanted to see if Darko could get that out of them. And it's weird because he didn't do it with anger. He didn't do it with yelling. He just said, I don't think y'all are going to win. He's like, I don't think y'all are win. I don't think you're good enough to win this time. Yeah, just play for fun. All right, just play for fun. I don't care. You don't care. I don't care. Just play for fun. And that was kind of like, whoa, coach is being casual. He's like, he doesn't think we can win. Well, damn it, I'm going to show him. There you go. That's a good way to reverse psychology, kind of motivate your team instead of just like yelling at them and making them feel worse. Just say, yeah, I don't think you're going to win. I don't think you're good enough to win. Oh, okay. All right, we're going to get out there and we'll win then. Instead of that, yeah. KSM saying Malachi also stood his ground, had Kuzma picking up his dribble and made a fool of whoever tried to ISO him at the end. Flynn's process is coming along. Yes, I'm so happy to see him making some strides and making some good things happen. Name's saying, remember at the end of the day, nobody asked rather how many, Capito? Got it? It's a long season, and I reckon we will win and lose in an array of fashions. Of course. It's the NBA, baby. It's just how it is. It's going to be weird. In some ways, you can't do this against Boston. You can't do this against Philly. You better not fucking do this against those teams. You're going to get beat by 50. You're going to get beat by 50. You're going to play like the first half of the last night. Yeah, Tom Duke's playing. Press the like button, you guys. Let's go, Raptor Freak family. Tommy's coming to Toronto today. He'll be in town tonight, and he'll be on the stream tomorrow with me, doing the preview tomorrow morning. Tom Duke will be my co-host for the Raptors preview, Raptor Freak preview for the Milwaukee game tomorrow night. That's right. There you go. Press the like button or don't. What? Country Kong saying there's a nice familiar feeling when Pascal takes over. It feels like you're watching a Raptors game. Yeah. Yeah, you see some of those movements, those motions that he does, and you're just like, this is vintage Siakam, 2018. It's like you get those kind of feelings sometimes. Oh, that's vintage Siakam. Oh, what a fine year. It's 2017. That kind of stuff is cool. Tristan saying, my God, I love the crowd at the end. I could hear a huge difference from the TV. Yeah, they were hype. And that's our crowd in full strength. And I love it. That's why I want y'all to do it all game long, even if they're down. Just think if you were still doing that, even when they were down and everything was shaky, you guys could have helped them just by being overconfident, even though it makes no sense. What's the harm in that, Raptors fans? You could be loud like that the whole game, even if they're down by 20. You might even actually help them come back. You really could. Siakam did say this during his press conference last night. The crowd does not help when they're like, when they make mistakes in the first half. He said the crowd was not helping when they're all like, I get it. Groan when they make a really boneheaded, stupid ass turnover. I get it, but that does not help their confidence. That does not help them. Let's just blindly have unconditional love for them with all their faults and mess ups and just cheer them on. Every time the other team has the defense, has the ball, defense chance, like get loud every time the other team has the ball and just unconditionally love the team. If they screw up, make a boneheaded move, I know it's your natural inclination to go, but Siakam's telling us that doesn't help. It doesn't help when the crowd's like, it makes it even more shaky. It's like a shaky echo chamber. Shakiness on the court begets shakiness in the crowd, which begets more shakiness on the court. And that's what I'm saying. We can be one thing. We can be very standard. They want them to play at a high level of standard on the court. Well, we need to play at a high level standard as the crowd and come out there and do our job no matter what. Even if the crowd, they're down, even if they're in a bad place, we do that. It'll help them get out maybe easier because we're just believing in them. And they'll be like, you know what? We suck right now. But look, the crowd's still behind us and they love us still. I feel their support. And now I feel the wind beneath my wings. Bette Midler. That's right. You are the wind beneath my wings. Fly. I'm not going to sing that on Thursday. No request for that one. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's be the wind beneath their wings unconditionally. And even if they're down by 20 and they look like hot shit against the Wizards, maybe we can help them get it out of the mud even faster by having that kind of energy like we did at the end of the game last night. That was awesome, wasn't it? I love our fan base. And y'all, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. We're getting better and better as a fan base. Seriously, I'm proud of our team's fans for doing what they did at the end of the game. Yeah. Nameless is saying, so keep chasing your tail, idiot who shall not be named. And around he goes, taking everybody else with him. I know. What is he even doing over there at this point? What is he even doing? So what if we're bad this year? Okay, dump all over us. Are you really a fan if you're dumping on us like you do? Cool Cat saying, I keep saying all season we should play through our wings. Pascal, OG, and Scotty. 2 are creators, 2 are bully ball, 2 are very fast, 2 self-create own offense. 1 is a 3-point marksman. All 3 defend. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Of course, it's going to go through them mostly naturally anyway. Of course. I mean, in some ways, I don't see that they're not doing that. I do see that they're doing that kind of too. I mean, they play through Pirtle. Pirtle is a hub in some ways when he's out there. They play through him a lot, and that makes total sense because that's been very successful. A lot of the pick and roll actions with Pirtle has been awesome. Now, early in the game, there was a disconnect in the pick and rolls between Dennis and Pirtle where the roll wasn't coming right. And Dennis was kind of left in no man's land. And this is part of the reason why he had a bad game is because he was doing the pick and rolls and get in the lane, but there was no path to throw the ball to the roller. I don't know where Pirtle was going after that. And then Dennis got caught in no man's land and he put up a bad shot and he missed. It was really like he didn't have the option to pass. Like we took it away from him because the roller went to some other no man's land. I don't know. That was weird. In some ways, that was part of why our offense looked bad at the beginning, is because we weren't pick and rolling right, which is very simple stuff, Raptors. Come on now. It's very simple stuff. All right, let's see. Cowboys saying, if I can make it Thursday, we're definitely going to go to the dog park later, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Have a safe and blessed day. Let's go. I hope you really do make it, Cowboy. It'd be fantastic. I feel bad about the last time I saw y'all and y'all not getting in the game. I just want to see you, man, and hang out with you and pal around. Mo's saying, see you Friday night, Lex and Tom. Got my rides. There you go. Mo will be at the game for the Boston game in-season tournament. We will rendezvous with her for sure. Hopefully she'll be not far from our seats like last time. And Tommy and us, we can all go see her during the game and pal around with her. And maybe Mo, I don't know if you got to get back too quick. Maybe we should go to Raptors tonight on Friday night. And maybe they should put you on as the guest. They got Jama last night. I think that Monique needs to be the guest on Raptors tonight very soon. And if you're able to hang around, I know that's late and you got to get your rides back and they're scheduled. I don't know if you can change your ride just slightly. If you're trying to leave at a certain time, if that would be awesome, just change it slightly. Then we can all hang out at Raptors tonight after the game on Friday for sure. And you can get extra time with Tommy. I know it's going to be later and you may need to go home and stuff like that. But if it can work, Monique, that would be awesome. Especially if we can finagle it to get you on the show with Randy. I know you're friends with him. And in some ways, it'd be awesome to have you on that show as a guest. Seriously, you're a person that's known in the Raptors community. And in some ways, you could be a very good guest on Raptors tonight. I think you'd be awesome on it. So, all right, let's keep going. Wayne's saying, obviously nameless. No such thing as perfect basketball or perfect anything. Alley-oop for nameless. All right, yeah, Wayne's throwing an alley-oop. That's interesting. I've never seen Wayne throw an alley-oop. I'm going to go ahead and do it. Nameless, you just got an alley-oop. I like that. There's no such thing as perfect basketball, but you can play almost perfect basketball. And getting closer and closer to perfect basketball is always best. That's what teams like the Sixers and the Celtics are trying to do right now, the Nuggets. So that's what I'm saying. The quest for perfect basketball is a very big thing. Yeah, let's see. Tom Duke's got 100% for Mo. Nameless saying, I would rather they lose last night than to win like that, is what Pensare said. What a dumbass. What a dumbass. Screw you, Pensare. Fuck you. I'll say that right now. Cool Cat saying, FIBA games, Serbian 0.5 offense looked elite because they are three-point shooters. We are not a three-point shooting team. We get open three looks like Nick Nurse's system. We just can't hit the three-point shots. We are a wing defense. Yeah, it's really weird, our team. I wish we had better shooting. Over time, we're going to get more better shooting. That's probably something they're going to be looking at every time when they look at who they're bringing in. Is this guy going to be helping with our shooting or not? And they may be going towards more like reliable, dependable, historic shooters as far as free agents or veterans or bench players that we acquire in the near future. Like I said, Doug McDermott. Let's see. Cool Cat saying Pascal looked a lot like Lowry's mentor last night. Like Lowry is his mentor with that in ball quickly when he knew it was off of him. Take every advantage possible. I know. I've been waiting for Raptors to take those kind of advantages. That quick inbounds is a really underrated, really good thing to do. Sometimes I see these guys lackadaisically, like half-assed. Like sometimes nobody will go out to get the ball to inbound it. Sometimes I hate when Dennis is rolling the ball these days. I really don't like that. I get it. Sometimes it's okay. But when they're rolling the ball and he's just kind of letting it roll there, and it's like, why don't you just pick it up and just start playing? Like, what are you doing? Like, why do you guys do that so much? I get it. In some situations is worth doing. But I think Dennis rolls the ball on the floor a little bit too much. I'm maybe being a little nitpicky. Because in some ways he allows for them to come scoop it, or it's just like, why? Why are you doing that? The clock is actually running while you're doing that. It's not like you're running clock off. You're just letting the ball roll on the floor. I don't know why. I don't know why they do that sometimes. The inbounding stuff is actually stuff that I wish they do better. And then the other thing we need to talk about is in the first half last night, they had more 24-second shot clock violations than three-pointers made. 2 3-pointers made by Grady, and 3 24-second shot clock violations. And that was really a point where I was like, our offense sucks. That we are not getting a good enough shot in the 24 seconds, not even close to a good shot. And the buzzers going off like that so often. Yeah, that was a really bad sign, those 24-second shot clock violations in the first half. You got to get your shit together and play a little bit more perfect. That's right. That's right. Yeah, the quick inbounds play is awesome. I love that. I'm so glad Siakam did that. That is a Lowry thing. That is definitely a Lowry thing. Yeah. All right. See, Wayne's saying the key to win any game is energy and speed. Whenever our team plays with energy, we're going to win 7 out of 10. Yes. Yes, that's absolutely a prerequisite. And part of the way Nick structured his defense and the way he did things, he really keyed on that for us to win. In some ways, we're finding a roundabout way to utilize our talent and speed and athleticism to beat teams. And it's not as direct as the way Nick used to use, but it's still very much a factor in how we won last night. Very much. Let's see. Nameless is saying, I don't know about y'all, but I'd rather my favorite team win at all costs than to watch them lose. That's how we real true fans cheer for their team. That's right. I don't care if it's cheating. I don't care if it's, Celtics fans don't give a shit if they cheat to win. They obviously don't. So in some ways, Raptors fans just like, what is this? I don't get it. Some people just want to complain about things, and that is who that guy is. He just wants to complain about things. Nameless saying he just wants your subs and views. That's all. Yeah, he's not really a fan of the team. He had a mission to get Fred out of town. And some reason he has some sort of mission for Scotty that's so weird. Like, I don't get it. It's obsessive. And then I don't get it. I don't understand what his mission statement is. It's like my mission statement is I'm a positive, passionate Raptors fan who loves his team and wants to see them win championships. I don't know what his mission statement is. What is your purpose? Why do you do your channel? What are you doing with your fucking life, idiot? David's saying, I unsubbed to that clown over a year ago. He's in the Joel camp. He likes Joel. Oh, he's just like Joel in your book. That's good. That's pretty low. Nameless is saying, I watched for 30 seconds, drop a dislike, and leave just to hurt the algorithm. Hey, whatever you guys want to do, Pese de Merde, my man, alley-oop. Nameless to David. And alley-oop from Cowboy to Nameless and David? Okay, there's only one ball, though. How do you do that? All right, here we go. Let's see. Country Kong saying Jakob spacing allows Gafford and other rim protectors to guard Jakob, Scotty, and Pascal all at the same time. We have to consider bringing Jakob off the bench for Gary and Grady and let Scotty be the center. I don't like that idea. You know what? We can do that and transition to that at 6 minutes in the game. But in the beginning of the game, it's still important to play the center right away. There's just so many reasons why. No, we don't want to do this. In some ways, that could hurt Scotty in a couple different ways. It's not smart. So I'll totally disagree with this idea. The Jakob spacing is an issue like it was last night. Well, he just doesn't play as much later, and we go with a small ball lineup. So we can fix this through the game. But in some ways, we want to discover Jakob and see if he's useful as a hub and making shots and doing good things, rim protecting, carving out protection in the paint. So the other team's not establishing points in the paint too easily early in the game. And in some ways, that's why he's in there. It's a defensive reason. Forget about the spacing on the offensive end. Worry about him establishing a paint presence for us at the start of the game. And that's more important, honestly, in some ways. Nameless is saying, haha, I hope your trip goes smoothly and safely, Tommy Gunn. Yeah, let's see this guy getting on a plane. Big old jet airliner coming to take you to Toronto. Yeah. David's saying, Nameless, are we going to see you this week? I'd like to see Nameless. Put a faceless to the Nameless. Yeah, cheers, brother. And Monique's saying, keep at it, Lex. Good times. Go Raptors. Keep climbing. There's the cutoff. I appreciate that. Coolcast saying the purpose of the chain is team building method. Get a chain based on achievement or small details critical to winning and players improve. Boucher, many DMPs, but still stayed ready. Exactly. I love that about Chris from last night. G saying, this may be odd, but I love ugly wins too. It builds character. They learn from mistakes and games, and coming out of it with a win gives confidence. I am with you completely on that, G. Listen, a win is a win. I don't give a shit if we didn't deserve it. If we barely got it by the skin of our teeth, we fucking got it. And that's all that matters. That's all that matters ultimately in this league. Just like they railroaded us and cheated us out a win against Chicago with some bad calls that they admitted later. Well, that's still a win for Chicago. And it's cheap and it sucks and it was dirty. And we still got an L. And I hate that. All right, let's see. Greg saying, well said, G. And a funny story. It's contagious. It's the same in every sport. Hopefully we go on a run. I like that. This is a tough stretch, but hey, it's been a tough stretch since we started. So let's just keep on going through the tough stretch. Fiercely saying Grady has better defensive presence than Jordan Poole. You know what? I'll say that. Yeah, Jordan Poole's defense is absolutely horrible. Yeah. Wayne Stranger saying it's bump and grinds R. Kelly. That's why I don't remember it. I never listened to R. Kelly. I know he had a pretty good career before he turned into some sort of weird like sex criminal. But in some ways, I guess I should know that song, but I don't. I guess I don't know how to sing it either. I don't know any R. Kelly except for I Believe I Can Fly. That's the only R. Kelly song I know. I could sing that song. And I've sang that in a performance once in the world's biggest improv tournament. I don't know why I ended up singing that song. in the world's biggest improv tournament at SoCap Lounge on Danforth near Broadview. Why did I sing that song? I don't know. It's so weird. I don't know why I was singing that. Let's see. Seymour hitting this with the R. Kelly track. All right, well, come on down and sing it. Somebody come down and sing Bump and Grind by R. Kelly on Thursday night. It won't be me because I don't know the tune that well. Carlos saying Grady has all the intangibles. He's playing like a hustle guy. You can't teach hustle. Scotty and Grady are the future. Yeah. I like all that. Cool Cat saying Zion wants to go to New York City. He wants the bright lights. He was always his preferred team to play with RJ. Well, I don't care what he wants. He's an idiot. And until he's proven anything with his life and what he's doing with on the NBA court, he shouldn't get what he just wants. That's the horrible thing about today's NBA. We reward idiots like James Harden and Ben Simmons and Zion Williamson. No, tough love. Motherfucker, you don't get to go where you want to go. We're going to trade your ass to fucking Washington. Yeah, you're going to Washington, bitch. Yeah, just you fucking things up here. It's like, oh, whatever. You're not buying in, you idiot. You need to buy in just to fucking save your career, is what I'm saying right there. Yeah. Fiercely saying Zion not buying in with the team, not buying in with multiple chicks. Priorities. There you go. Yeah, you own dumpster fire with the crazy woman on Twitter going crazy on your ass, talking all this crazy stuff all summer. Zion, you need more good PR instead of bad PR. And this is bad PR. You sound stupid when you say you're not buying in with the team. You better get buying in because that's the team you get paid for. And you've been sitting on the shelf and they've been paying you. And you ain't done jack shit to help them in the last couple of years. Yeah, I have no respect for people like Zion Williamson. I really, really don't. Keep your mouth to yourself. And if you have wanting to go to other teams, well, that just shows you're going to be like that when you get to the other teams. So ship them off to somewhere shitty. Ship him off to send him to the Clippers. That'd be funny. They probably still suck with him on the Clippers. That'd be funny. Let's see. Carlos saying this is the difference between stars like Zion and Pascal. Pascal, through all the struggles, never acted like Zion and Harden. I'll call him aside and negotiate a fair contract with him. I've seen enough. Okay, Carlo, get on the horn. Call him aside and get that extension for Pascal right now. I agree with everything Carlos said right there. He's right. Elijah Hutchins is here. Good to see Raptorsfreak Elijah Hutchins. Zion is a fool, but New Orleans are bigger fools. They should have already traded him and build around their wings. I can get behind this opinion. I want the Pelicans to be good. I like that team. I want that franchise to be good. And it's annoying that Zion Williamson is not coming through with what he's supposed to be for them. It is very annoying. Let's see. Duke Rocks is saying Jordan Hawkins is good, but like any rookie, you got growing pains. New Orleans have injury issues is the reason Hawkins is getting starter minutes. Okay. That's good intel, Duke. I have not been paying attention to them very closely. Cool Cat saying, I think the Boston stinker is weighing on Scotty. He's hurting Pascal. He's hurting. Pascal will help Scotty manage emotions, never too high or low, stay in the fight. Value of an NBA champion, all NBA on the team. Well, I think this will help. The winning will help. Last night, if we lost to Washington, that would have been a disaster in so many different ways. This is so important that we ended up winning that game last night. And I think you're right, Cool Cat. In some ways, this could weigh on him in certain ways that I don't like. And I want Scott to feel like he has confidence that the Raptors are moving in the right direction. We're going to win more and more in the future. And if he has like these kind of things like from Saturday, and he's like, man, the odds are stacked against us. This is going to be really hard. In some ways, I wish he'd be the guy who'd be like, I don't mind. It's the hard road. We'll take it and we'll go and be the best. But some people are lazy and they want to go the easy route. And I don't ever want that from our guys because in some ways, it's not like that here. It's always going to be the harder route. So we need guys like Siakam. They're like, I'm okay with the harder route and I'll go through this. In some ways, we need Scotty to be the same way. I don't want him to start thinking, oh, it'd be easier if I went to a team in the U.S. because that's annoying. He needs to be able to see winning here and scenarios of winning here to be here long term. And yeah, I worry about this. Shere Khan saying, good morning, Raptorsfreak family. I'm glad that the Raps did not sell this offseason. Toronto doesn't get many top free agents coming over the border. So when we have players like Pascal, Scotty, and OG, we have to keep them at all costs. I completely agree with Shere Khan on this. Completely. Paul B saying, never count this team out. No OG, no Gary, nothing falling for Schroeder, no problem. Yeah, the things that we overcame to win this game last night are insane. 4 3-pointers made. 2 starter, OG, our best defender missing. One of our best shooters missing. Our point guard absolutely cold and not playing well. There's a lot we overcame in that one. Blackhawk saying West didn't listen to Kuzma and Poole because they got on his nerves. There you go. No challenge, Kuzma. I don't care what you said. I might need it later. Well, you didn't need it later, Wes Unseld. Trevor J saying people will never be happy. They always seem to find the smallest negative things to say. Being happy to them is trouble. In some ways, they're just miserable. They got negative mindsets. They live a very bad perspective in their life. Their life is hell. You should feel sorry for them, is what you should. If you come across somebody who's overly negative and just can't help but feel negative, just turn the other cheek and be, man, I feel so sorry for you that you live in the hell that you live in. That's the way I look at it. Wayne saying, Pascal, we will say again, is untouchable. And this goes for the host too. No trade or disrespect towards Pascal Siakam. Only the front office is allowed to talk trade. It's our job. It's their job, not ours. Exactly. Exactly. They decide that we move on from Siakam. That's their decision. It's none of y'all jabronis out there. They're fans. You can hate him all you want, Robert. It doesn't matter. In some ways, I'm glad Masai and Bobby hopefully will make the right decision. Hopefully, he'll still be here, is what I want. Coquette saying, I remember Pascal said Kawhi told him to stop being too emotional on the court. It takes away energy and focus. I know Pascal will keep stressing that to Scotty. That's winning mentality. Yeah. This is a place I've seen Scott improve so far this year. How much is he taking time out to complain to the refs and get all upset like he did in the past years? He's not. In some ways, he's moving on quicker, and it's allowing for him to make really outstanding, amazing winning plays in moments because he's not hung up on the last thing that happens. This is an important lesson for all young NBA players. And that, Kawhi helping Siakam see this. Well, hopefully, maybe Scotty's learned this more and more because he was taken away from his game, whether it was with complaining to the ref after a call he thought he should have gotten and getting taken out of the right position in transition for defense, or it's him like yelling too much after making something. You can do the dunk and do like a pose, but don't go wah and really yell because you actually take your wind away from celebrating too hard. So in some ways, it's almost like you got to temper that too, Scott, because it can take away from your energy and how well you can play. I think there were times in his rookie year in particular where Scott would dunk it or do something amazing and he would get hyped and yell, and then he would be dog tired for like the next couple minutes on the court. So this is all learning curve stuff. And you're right, Cool Cat. This is the path of learning stuff from DeMar, Kyle, Kawhi to Pascal and OG, from Pascal and OG to Scotty and Grady. Yeah, it's all that kind of stuff. The winning mentality and the understanding of what it takes. And the little things matter. Everything matters. Seymour saying, like inbounding the ball quickly. Seymour saying, seeing Flynn in the game so late was shocking, but it worked way to go, Darko. Yeah, punctuation there. No more comments. Thank you, Monique. Kenrick saying, team has been so unselfish. They were passing on shots they usually make. If they have any advantage, they need to take it. Be aggressive. I agree with that. Sheldon's here. Good to see Sheldon Pemberton. New name in the chat. Welcome to you. We do a Raptors live stream every single day at 9:30 in the morning, and I hope you can show up again. Let's see what he's talking about, though. Free throws. Raptors worse than the NBA. I believe that's probably right. We are not shooting free throws right. That's something we need to get better at. Fiercely saying, I was wondering why there was no YouTube Indeed, neither from him or Ellen or any of them. Joel put something out around Halloween of him going to a Halloween party and partying down, but that's really the last thing we've seen. It's really weird. It's weird in some ways. Like the family, at least Ellen could have been doing content while he was gone. She probably had a lot of time, but who knows? Maybe she went on a trip to Germany and went back, or I don't know. In some ways, we don't know what's been going on with them because they haven't been showing us. Wayne saying Malachi Flynn has been a Raptor for 3+ years and he deserves our respect. This business is ruthless, an outcome based on, but I like this young man and we criticize his play, but he's a good player. He's been through a lot. He's been through a lot in his career, and in some ways, us sticking through with him to get through to this point, it may be a testament to perseverance and patience by the end of this journey with Flynn. Flynn may be a very good tale for Raptors Nation about how you need to be patient to allow guys to get to where they could possibly be. And I really believe, I love what you're saying, Wayne. He's been a Raptor for a while. We need to respect him and love him because he's one of our players. I love that. David's thanking Sheldon for the information. My brother's here. What's up, freaks? What's up, Carl? Carl Otts, Raptor Freak, holding it down in Atlanta Hawk territory. That's right. We're worldwide, baby. We're in Atlanta. We're in Wisconsin. We're in Alberta. We're in Israel. We're in the Philippines. We're in Jakarta. We're in Hong Kong. We're in Ottawa. We're in Victoria, British Columbia. That's right. alley-oop to Cowboy. You want Cowboy to get alley-oop? Fiercey's throwing alley-oops now. I'm like, well, everybody's throwing alley-oops today. This is interesting. This is different alley-oopers. All right, let's see. David's saying Carl the Groat. Carl the Groat, the greatest Raptor of all time. That's right. Wayne Stranger's saying Winslow's interview on Yahoo was pretty good. He seems a real mature student of the game. I'm looking forward to seeing what his contributions to the team look like. I wish that Justice Winslow was healthy. If he could play today for the Raptors 905 against College Park, that'd be awesome. There's a stunted growth out on Justice Winslow that came out last week. And in some ways, we need to go watch it. I haven't watched it yet still. I'll watch it this afternoon. I should have watched it already so I could tell you what it's about. But if you guys like really good basketball channels on YouTube, Stunted Growth is a fantastic channel that takes players who did not make it in the league how they were supposed to and breaks down what their downfall was. Like, what was the reasons for the stunted growth of Justice Winslow? What happened with his NBA career? And why is he on the Raptors 905 with us at this point? Well, Stunted Growth can tell you. So it's a great YouTube channel. I highly recommend, and go check it out. And I'm going to watch it in a little bit. You guys can watch it too. We'll talk about it tomorrow. But yeah, Justice Winslow's Stunted Growth is out. And there's also the interview that you're talking about that's out too. Yeah, there's a really good piece on Jakob Poeltl by Oren Weisfeld that's out also right now. And the interview with Amit Mann and CJ Miles from last year is absolutely fantastic. The stuff with Poeltl out is very good right now also. Sheldon's saying, as a coach, Raptors players need to practice their free throws in batches of no more than 3. So 5 batches of 3 free throws per day, assuming their muscle memory of forearm shooting is good. I like that. That's coaching help from Sheldon. I like that. That sounds like that makes sense, as far as things. I mean, I really think about it this way. My coaching advice for them would be just get present. I feel like, and sometimes they get up to the line, they're either taking a breather, maybe they're thinking ahead, maybe they're thinking about the play before. I want them to just get right present. It really is about the power of now. And then sometimes I feel like they're distracted mentally is why they're missing their free throws so far this season, Sheldon. It's like, Siakam, I love your whole thing. You dribble it, you wipe your face, and then you shoot. You got your routine. Just stick with it. And Gary, I don't know if it's plantar fasciitis that's ruined your amazing free throw shooting from last year. You were like one of the best free throw shooters on our team, like almost 90%, like 85, something like that. This year, you are the worst free throw shooter for our team. So I don't know if it's you planning off your plantar fasciitis is making you miss free throws or something. I don't know what it was. Gary's free throw misses have been really weird. And in fact, if he was right and being right where he should be, he would help us a lot with our percentage as a team. One of our best free throw shooters is gone, Fred. And then the other better one is not shooting free throws. He's the worst free throw shooter on our team. Well, that's how we get to be one of the worst free throw shooting teams in the league. Plus Poeltl. There's a lot of different reasons why we have a bad free throw shooting, but it can improve and it will get better. And hell, let's tell Darko to do this. This is a great idea, Coach Sheldon. I like it. Wayne's saying, if we play like shit, we were at 500. So it must be encouraging to envision what we would look like. We really established team cohesion. I agree with this. This is kind of like last year. We were so bad and muddled with selfishness and weirdness, and we still were 500. It's the same thing right now. So just imagine when we do get things going right, then we can be a really good winning team. I'm all about it. W for you, Tristan Phipps. I love it. Sheldon's saying 0.5 offense is not about shooting threes, about quick and precise ball and player movement, not standing around watching your playmaker dominate in each and every possession. Yes, he's right. And the other thing I like about the whole side of it is the threes are just a byproduct of kick out. In some ways, the really smart play to play the 0.5 is to get inches in the trench war of getting closer to the basket. You get into the paint because value of paint touches is something that valued by Darko very much. He's keeping track of how often these guys run in and touch the paint. But often we see them go in there without the purpose to go up and take the shot in the paint, which is the high percentage shot. And they're looking to kick it. That's part of the problem with it is these guys are not going into the paint confidently with moves that can finish and make the moves. Now, Scotty can bully ball anybody in this league. And in some ways, I've seen Scotty go in the paint looking to pass instead of going up himself. The higher percentage shot is what 0.5 dictates to do. So in some ways, they're going against the trend by making it turn into a three-point shot more often than it should. Now, the defense may be packing the paint, and that may be part of it. But I like how Sheldon's spelling this out. This is a coach we're dealing with here today, Sheldon, and he knows his stuff. And I'm with him on this. In some ways, guys, don't be derisive of the 0.5 offense. In some ways, they're not doing it correctly enough for you to actually really fall in love with it. How about that? How about that? David's saying, Sheldon, you're not a Raps fan, are you? The way you said it was like some of the things is making it seem like it, but he's fine. He's very informative and knowledgeable. I can tell. So he's fine. Sheldon's saying, I'm a very big fan. We need to utilize the player's personal best. Players are habitual. So breaking habits is difficult, especially when your ball IQ is weak. Wow, there's a lot in there. That's a very big. I love that he's a huge fan. He's in the right place. I love that he's very knowledgeable and he's talking X's and O's kind of stuff. So I like this. I agree with him. There's certain strengths that our team has that we are not capitalizing on more, especially Scotty in the low post. It just makes so much sense. He should not be taking so many threes. He needs to be down low doing Kawhi kind of shit. And the fact that we're not doing that and making those the habits and the way that he's trying to build his game offensively more, that's what we need to do. We need to go that area more. I agree with Sheldon as far as like habits. We need to build good habits. And in some ways, the Raptors have bad habits in certain ways. But also, the other thing we got to give them credit for is they're high IQ, they're quick learners, and they're willing learners. And that can overcome a lot of stuff in a lot of ways when these guys are willing and their ears are open and they're bringing in the information. And they also have a certain level of aptitude to take it in and make changes and adjustments as a coach sees fit in the quickness of it all. In some ways, that's something we're good at. If we do have some bad ball IQ or some bad habits, at least we have quick learners that are really listening. Some teams, players just don't learn anymore. They're just like, I am who I am. But we have guys that are willing to listen and change. And I love that about our team. Sheldon, I like your presence here. I really appreciate it. I hope you'll come and join us more often. Every morning, we're here. Every morning. Tomorrow we'll be previewing the Milwaukee game for Wednesday night. Seymour saying, to me, it looks like McDaniels looks lost in the system. He's just the new kid on the block, and he has more to learn than anybody else. He has the least experience with any of the guys, and it's a totally new coach. And there's all kinds of different reasons why. You know, Jalen's in a weird place in his career also where he's trying to get more established as a pro. He's kind of been half-assed with Charlotte in the last year or so. So we'll have to see if he can really put a stake in this is my career and who I am as an identity as an NBA player. We'll see if that happens over the year. David's saying, so your take on the team thus far is we have low IQ and we can't hit a free throw. That's an awesome take. Hadn't heard that before. Thanks for sharing. David, be nice. It's fair. And I like people that are fair and they're being real about it. It's not that we're like so pie in the sky that we're absolutely positive. No, I'm not, this is a new person. We want to encourage new people to come here and not be a dick, David. Come on now. Come on, man. These are fair things to say about our team. He's not out of pocket here. And I don't take this as just a very negative fan that's just like dumping on them. He cares about the team getting better. He said that. And he's right. He's right on what he's saying. Elijah's saying what nobody mentioned was Dennis was hurt. I appreciate him playing hard, though, and I hope he heals fast and well. He got hit pretty hard and was on the ground for a second there. Yeah, there were a couple of things that happened with Dennis. He was off. He was just off in certain ways. I don't know. I hope Dennis is okay, and hopefully he can rest up and feel better being back home with his family. Sheldon's saying if the team stays true to 500 offense, then our next 10 games, I expect them to be better at a 6-4 record with more chemistry. I could see that too. And I like that prediction also. I think that's true. It just makes sense. They should get better as the year goes on. And then also on top of that, our schedule is going to be easier over the next 10 games. It's just really getting through these first 10 games. There's a lot more easier teams are going to be playing in the next little bit than the beginning. Like I said, we played 4 of the top 5 teams in the power rankings already this year. Out of our 10 games, like 6 of those games were against 4 of the top teams, or something like 5 of those games were against top teams. So it's a big deal. Scott B saying, hey, Lex, didn't Boucher look like Ben Wallace out there last night? Pascal went to work too. Looked mean, decisive, and sharp. All NBA without a doubt. I thought that Boucher, a little bit of like Ben Wallace with the poofy hair and the blocks. Yeah, I can see that. That's a pretty good one there, Scott B. I like that. David's saying 8-2, book it. You want us to be 8-2? All right. Well, the 2 games coming up can't be 2. They better be more on the 8. Let's see. Norma's also saying Pascal had 22 in the third and 7 in the fourth, 29 in the second half. Okay, so it was 22 in the third. I thought they said he had 18 after the game. I don't know why in the press conference they were saying you had 18 in the third quarter. How did that feel? I don't know why I'm stuck on 18. I think it was because they were saying after the game, but he had 22. Okay. Now wait, did he have the 4 from the earlier in the game? Like he got 4 points in the first half or something? I don't know. I'm trying to figure this out. Let's see. Norma, he was a beast. Yes, he was. And let's see. Scott's saying he was a beast, Seymour. He is also Toronto built. We should all be very proud of Pascal. He was on the tape. The Lakers would be all NBA every year. He lives this city. Yeah, he's a real one. And we want to treat him with the respect we should treat people like DeMar, Kyle, Fred, and people like that. All right, another Lexathon in the books. We just went over 3 hours. All right, thanks, guys. I appreciate you hanging with me for 3 hours of reaction to the game last night. Raptors, tale of two halves. You cannot play like you did in the first half and expect to win. You're very lucky you did win last night. Don't play with your food. You play like this in the next couple games, you're going to lose for sure. So don't do that. My 5 stars are Siakam, Barnes, Boucher, Achua, and Dick. I felt like they were really good. The 3 referees for the 9:05 game at 7:30 in Mississauga are Charles Watson, Teresa Stuck, and Mari Pierre Mallow. There you go. And then let's see what else. Jakob Pertl has his post-game thing. Fantastic 111-107 comeback win against the Wizards. We played poor defense and lacked energy in the first half, but brought unbelievable effort after the break. A great impact by the bench. We came back from being down 23 points and closed the game on a 21-1 run in the last 7 minutes, 20 seconds. Go Raptors. There you go, Jakob. I love your recaps and what you do. All right, set up your Yahoo Fantasy teams for your basketball teams and all that, and have a great day. I'm going to see Tom Duke tomorrow. He'll be here on the show with me tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m., preview for Milwaukee. All right, y'all, stay true to your team. Root on your team no matter what, whether we're down 20 or up 20. Just root on your team. That's something we learned last night. The Raptors fans not giving up on the team and being there for them at the end to get loud, it was very helpful. I appreciate every single one of y'all that went to that game and did that last night and stuck around. All right, y'all, have a great day. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. If you want, give a follow to Toronto Yardy. Give a follow for the Gubstown Clink. Play it again, Sue, Logical Raptors Fanatic, all these great YouTube channels that we got around here. I appreciate y'all, and let's go Raptors, as always. Yak is a real one. Yeah, Yak's a real one. So he's the only Austrian player ever to play in the NBA. He's a one of the kind, and he doesn't get enough shine for that. He's a really kind of an amazing story. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow morning. Let's go Raptors. Let's go Raptors. Let's go Raptors.